Grip keeper.
A shiny the exposure.
Piano daughter.
Organ low, archive open.
Foul on foul.
Clip on clip, watch your mouth.
Stand on it. Grip keeper.
Grip keeper.
Archive creeper.
Archive creeping.
Zesty talking.
Zesty talking.
Pan on leaking.
Pen on leaking.
Say he said it.
Said he said it.
Where the clip.
Play the clip.
Run it back.
Let me see it.
TJK. Let it separate. Or Johnny pull the record.
Let it
meditate. They made the name. Not a name by it.
grip keeper.
Walking through a dark line. Came in calm with the black fire. Don't smile. Whole clips in the stack pie. Lens took a step back, St. Luke. Talk bone still ain't laying one hoop. Blind vision saw the room get tight. No ball after the facts hit light. Our money switch lanes.
Toast again.
King's Speech tried to stand, got pinned. This ain't yelling, this receipts on beat. Courtroom trap for the church keys deep. No one can shake. 808 knock. Every lie you told got a time on the clock. They throw jokes.
He let it breathe.
Then bring the footage back from underneath. Zesty Jeffers wanna live with no tape. OT in the cut like it might be too late.
Run it back.
Run it back.
Line for line.
Line for line.
No escape.
No escape.
From your time.
They love my crew, but the rules got hoes. Move that scale every time Ron rolls. MVPs count to Russell Love driving. 5G treated like they ain't alive. Scoring count to the record got passed. Then longevity became a new man. Every standard came wrapped in fog. A jetty peel it back, now the room go dark. You don't need volume.
He ain't got sequence.
First claim, that's clench.
Show no weakness.
I don't get loud.
He let him talk.
Then the whole clip rise like chalk on the wall.
They say he does smoke.
He bring the whole out.
Say he switched up.
He bring the whole out.
Say he got cooked
The
up.
hub don't say no.
Archive your teeth when the lights get low.
File on file.
Clip on clip.
Watch your mouth.
Stand on it.
This where them rules where the lies get dressed. But fake wins live off deleted mess. Click little panel.
Quick little break.
Then pray nobody say
Save the frame.
why don't you got eyes?
Page your note.
Screen in the door.
Whole stream clone.
One no quote.
One fake angle.
Not a whole YouTube.
TT tango.
But Johnny don't change.
He waiting blood.
Cold as a vault with the folders locked. They made Crib Keeper.
He made it long.
Now every zesty fear with the archive song. Now the ghost story, this a live autopsy. With criteria laid out sloppy.
GJK.
In the room, keep it clean.
For the grip, him and dig up everything.
Crib Keeper.
I got briefings.
Zesty talking.
Hand on leaking.
Say he said it.
Said he said it.
Where the clip?
Run it back.
Let me see it.
GJK.
Let us separate.
Johnny pull the record. Let it meditate.
They made the name.
Now the name by
Crib Keeper. Walking through a dark line.
DJK.
Archive open.
Just don't rock.
Lives stay frozen. Crib Keeper. Walking through a dark line.
DJK.
Archive open.
Kids don't rock.
Lives stay frozen.
Crib keeper.
Walking through a dark line.
DJK.
Archive open.
Kids don't rock.
Lives stay frozen.
Crib keeper.
Walking through a dark line.
DJK.
Archive open.
Kids don't rock.
Lives stay frozen. Lives stay frozen. Lives stay frozen. Lives stay frozen. TJK. TJK. Crew Keeper.
So Lamont, hey Lamont, I whenever you ready, just tell me when to introduce my boy, man.
Man, go ahead and introduce him now, man. Please, man. Go ahead and cook up.
Y'all ready?
Yes, sir.
Y'all ready? Okay, so well, I mean, I grew up playing the game, man, and my buddy is my brother, man. This dude is my brother. I mean, and throughout when you play the game, you always have a couple of people that you consider brothers, man. Like my kids are his kids, and his kids are my kids. Like this dude, I mean, I've been sick in the past. I'm an amputee. This dude, I mean, will fly anywhere to see me. And it started when we were both got traded to Toronto. And I think, you know, him being a free agent, he was a high-priced free agent coming from Houston and Portland and all those places. But backtracking a little bit, this man was an All-American at UCLA. Not doo-doo state, but UCLA, the most accomplished program of all time. I mean, started by the great John Wooden. But this dude, California Player of the Year, McDonald's All-American, won a ring with the Houston Rockets, and then one of the championship years played for Portland and in Washington, and of course his time with me with the Toronto Raptors, and we solidified a bond that would never break. I'm talking about me, him, Stoudemire, Doug Christie, Oliver Miller, Carlos Rogers. That first 2 years group that came to Toronto was just unbelievable. And we still all close today. But obviously me and Tracy and Oliver and Damon, that group, we're all closer. But I consider Tracy my brother. I'm talking about, like, man, we've been through it. We've been through tears. We've been through everything. We watched our other brother, Oliver Miller, deteriorate in a 1 year. And when we saw that, and it's just, all they did was make us closer. His family, Mr. and Mrs. Murray, his brother Cam, all of them, we all family, dog. I'm talking about my son Nico looks at him like an uncle, and it's just, this dude here, man, I give my right arm to. And I know, like I said, we get situations where guys are like, okay, he's cool, but this is my real brother right here, more closer to me than almost my real brother. So I just want to welcome, Tracy to FYF and Go James Kingdom. Those are my guys. I started on this kind of journey with them, just lurking one day and came up, and we've been family ever since, man. This is one of the best situations. It's actually a debate show, but we know that I don't partake in that, and I want to preface that by saying I'm on here a lot, but I don't want my brother to go through no bullshit. So you guys, and no disrespect, but just don't be asking him no bullshit. Don't ask him about no fucking money. I don't want to hear that, because
the minister of defense ain't gonna let that happen, Sharone.
No, but I come through the phone on you niggas, man. I don't play with me, my nigga. Don't play with me. No, because this ain't no average.
The minister of defense is here.
But this ain't. No, I know. You know why it ain't gonna happen? Because Herm ain't gonna let this shit happen. Herm, my nigga. Herm ain't playing with y'all. But anyway, Herm is my manager for sure. So without further ado, former first team All-American, should have won Sixth Man of the Year. Should have won comeback player of the year. Should have won most improved that year with Washington when he averaged 55. And this dude is the best jump shooter that I've ever seen, and my brother Tracy Murray.
Oh man.
Peace and blessings, y'all. Peace and blessings. Welcome to another Friday Night Exposure with the Exposer. It's your boy A. Johnny right here from the GOAT James Kingdom platform. Y'all make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Also comment on GJK material and content as well, man. And also check out the GJK membership. As you guys know, we continually grow our followership and our membership because we are real basketball fans and real hoopers, man. So shout out to all y'all who be repping GJK to the fullest. I see a few of y'all already in the building. Shout out to Wayne Gant in the building. Peace and blessings, man. I see Deshaun's here. What's good, Deshaun? Obviously, Najee is in the building. Peace and blessings. What's good with you? We got my boy Iron Man up in here. Peace and blessings, Iron Man. It's always great to have you guys up in here for another great Friday Night Exposure with the Exposer, where we are going to actually play the interview that we had with Sharone Wright and Tracy Murray the other night on the FYF GJK TikTok takeover. Shout out to Lamont and the FYF Sports Debate and everybody who's watching us over there as well on a Friday night. About this time last year, Lamont decided that he wanted to do TikTok lives, and he asked me to collaborate with him and invited me over there with him to do these lives. And it's been a very, very successful journey on TikTok, as we have taken TikTok over. I told Lamont that as soon as we go over to TikTok, it's going to be chaotic at first, but eventually we'll take it over, and it's going to be a problem. And that's eventually what we did, and the Zesties are now reeling over there. They've been going crazy over there since Lamont's been over there, and obviously Go James Kingdom's been over there as well. Shout out to all the GJK assassins and the members who's been over there as well, just terrorizing them. And then you got Hollywood Herm over there doing crazy stuff too as well. But about a year ago, just less than a year ago, Sharone Wright popped up on one of our lives, and like he said there in that intro you just saw, he was like, man, he was just scrolling through, and somehow we came down his feed, and he heard us talking the game, and he liked the way we talk basketball, and he liked the, I can paraphrase, not even paraphrase, I can quote him verbatim. He said listening to us talk basketball was like him being in the locker room. It reminded him of being in the locker room, in an NBA locker room. So he said that, he appreciates the stuff that Lamont and I do with our content on TikTok and obviously and overall. So he came by and he joined our show one day, and we had a great conversation with him that day as well. That was before we even know who he was. He just popped up with his TikTok name, which is Six Pick. That's his actual. It's Six Pick 94. Because he was the sixth pick in the 1994 draft. You go look him up. It's Sharone Wright. Played in the NBA for about 4 or 5 years. Got injured and obviously couldn't sustain a longer career in the NBA. But still, he played a good 4 or 5 years. Lottery draft pick, picked by the Philadelphia 76ers. I think they picked him right after they picked up Iverson. Or right before they picked up Iverson. Yeah, right before they picked up Iverson. My bad, because he got picked in 94. But either way, he's been a very good supporter of what we do here in GOAT James Kingdom and with FYF. He's popped up on plenty of lives with us, had great conversations with us, and this time he felt that it was about the time he opened up our platform to some more NBA players. So he brought Tracy Murray over. Tracy Murray played alongside him in Toronto for a few years. And they're very close, as you can clearly see and hear from the conversation they had. So it was a great discussion, and it was a great conversation, and we asked them a lot of questions. So we're gonna have some fun just rehashing that actual conversation that we had with Sharone Wright and like I said, and Tracy Murray. Man, it was definitely good, man. Appreciate that, Najee. It's always good to have you here. So that's what we have. So again, tonight's live is, again, as always, like I told y'all, from here on out, Friday Night Exposures are members only live, so you can only comment if you're a member on the GOAT James Kingdom platform. But again, the link is available for all GJK members. You want to join me and have fun, you're more than welcome to pop up and have fun with us over here. Shout out to my boy Olo. We was watching Hoops earlier today. Shout out to Olo. The link is available in the GJK members community. Olo, you're more than welcome to pop up, man. Because, like I said, we're going to have fun watching, not even just watching, because we're going to listen to it, because I'm not going to have the video for you. This was like a 3.5 hour live. It's about a good over 2 hours of us talking and asking questions to Tracy Murray, who played, again, Tracy Murray played in the NBA for over 12 years, 12 years exact. And he played in places like Portland, Houston. He played with the Lakers in 2003. He played in Toronto. He played in Washington. He was a journeyman. He was a first-round pick out of UCLA. He was a sharpshooter from that era. Played small forward position, about 6'7", 6'8". I think that was his size, about 6'7", 6'8". But had a good NBA career. Again, if you played 12 years in the NBA, that shows, one, you were a professional, and two, that you had some sort of skill and ability that a lot of teams were interested in, and eventually you were able to sign multiple deals and get to multiple spots. At the end of the day, it's not easy being an NBA player, and it's not easy to make the NBA. Then on top of that, you make the NBA and stay in the NBA. So that's definitely a big thing as well. Yes, the secret weapons in the building. Shout out to you, Olo, man. It's always great to have you guys here. Yeah, Klay Thompson is a Miami Heat. I'm excited about that. He will be signing with the Heat. Again, y'all, I keep telling y'all, it will be Biscayne in June, man. We're gonna have a great year here in GOAT James Kingdom. We're gonna continue to do play-by-play, and now it's going to even be better, because see, last year it was hard to do, or not last year, but the past few years, it was hard to do play-by-play for LeBron because he was playing in LA. Those games were always late nights, and it's hard to do it. Now that the majority of LeBron games are going to be on the East Coast at 7:30, 8 o'clock in the at night on the Eastern time, we are going to have a lot of nights of watching basketball and doing basketball here on GOAT James Kingdom. So again, ladies and gentlemen, please tap that subscribe button, hit the ring notification, because that's how YouTube lets you know that you have a GOAT James Kingdom video available to you, or live available to you, or posters available to you, or whatever information that we want to put out there. So make sure you hit that ring notification, because YouTube does not send out people's content. YouTube is not doing that. You guys got to continue to support your favorite YouTube content creator, because it's not easy for us to do what we do, but we're going to continue to do this. Like I said, I'm going to be here every Friday night with the Friday Night Exposure. We're going to be here every Sunday with the GOAT James Kingdom show with me and B. Lee. And obviously, y'all know we're going to continue to give y'all stuff throughout the week. We just did another GJK Summer Film Festival session today on TikTok, which I'll be putting up tomorrow for you guys to watch here on GOAT James Kingdom. So look out for that. That was a 2010 Western Conference Finals playoff matchup between Phoenix and the Lakers we watched today. Kobe went off for 40 points, and it was a great game, a great watch. So shout out to everybody again who support us there as well. Shout out to New World. I see New World GJK members in the building. Again, the link for tonight's show is available on the GJK community. Y'all are more than welcome to hop on and have a conversation with us and join tonight's live. Yeah, TikTok is live, man. You guys are liking TikTok. I noticed that everybody's, TikTok again. I get it. TikTok is addictive. It provides engagement. You can just be on your own, platform, getting people up to talk to you on a daily basis. So shout out to all y'all doing y'all thing on TikTok. You know me here. I don't hate no content creator. There is enough space and enough people on this internet for all of us to eat and do our thing. So I never hate on anybody, man. What's good, Olo?
What's good?
Nothing much, man. Let me put up the what's it called here so that we can have some fun watching this thing, man. Because this was
Great
actually
show.
yeah, it was a great live. It really was a great live, man. Let me see if I can get a. I don't know. Is this how? Nah, I don't like it like that neither. See, I got it like this, but then they don't show Olo in them, so let's just go like this and make it bigger. Then we can have y'all show up here, man. What's good, Olo, man? What's popping, man? Shout out to Asante. I see Asante in the building. Peace and blessings, man. Thank y'all for joining me, man. Hopefully, y'all having a good Friday night, like I said, man, because this is gonna be good, man. We're gonna listen to this little conversation we had, an interview with Sharone Wright, and basically the interview was with Tracy Murray, because we've had several conversations with Sharone, and shout out to Sharone, man. He's a good man, and thanks again for all that he does for us. And he doesn't have to take his time out to talk to us. We just a bunch of regular dudes who talk shit about basketball every day. He don't have to waste his time with that, man. But Olo, you was there for the conversation. They were supposed to bring you up. I don't know what happened. Why come nobody didn't bring you up? Then you did get brought up.
I was up there for a little bit. Then I
Yeah.
had left to free up some spots because they was having trouble with bringing up Tracy Murray up.
Yeah, they did. They had some trouble, but that's fine. Let me see if y'all can hear the conversation.
But this time, and when
Okay.
I walked in,
So there is the conversation right there. Hold on.
Pull through, man. What happened, man?
Okay, Lamont.
They always tell us that the most
Oh,
hit home a little in the chat that we have a couple people willing to give flowers to the new guys and not just in the locker room with Jordan, and Sharone just sitting there like, what is this dude talking about, man? And that's what we basketball players on, like real basketball players deal with on this platform, man. We just hear
This is why this is Lamont intro to him giving to just his premise in general. So we're gonna let Lamont go ahead and start and ask his first question. This was a crazy first question too by Lamont.
he was saying all this stuff from like he was in the locker room with Jordan, and Sharone just sitting there like, what is this dude talking about, man? And that's what we deal with on this platform, man. We just hear people who, they give out so much misinformation. They will misdirect people. And then so when we bring basketball players on, like real basketball players on, we can talk real basketball, and we can hopefully clean up the discourse, man, on how the game is talked. And because both of y'all were part of the transition. Mm-hmm. And so that's why I like talking to the players that maybe were on that borderline of being 90s players, but then kind of grew into the 2000s. So y'all started to see the transition, or y'all played through the transition a little bit. And that's one of the reasons why I like having players who endured that transition, because it seems like you guys are a little bit more relatable to the new players. Like you willing to give flowers to the new guys and not just trying to tear them down. And that's what we see.
Right. Yeah.
We see a lot of people just tearing down. Like this guy in the chat. We have a couple people in the chat, the Eddie guy. Just I don't get it. But Tracy, I got to ask you this question, man. And the only reason why I'm asking you this question, Tracy, and I know this question is going to hit home a little bit, right?
It's a wild question. Watch this question.
We hear this thing on TikTok. They always tell us that the most important thing in the game of basketball, over defense, over everything, over chemistry, is scoring. And you know, when I followed you, because I collected basketball cards, and you know, I remember when I was collecting basketball cards on back of one of them basketball cards, it said that you dropped 64 in a high school game. I think it's the state title game.
Yep.
But y'all took the L.
Yep.
Y'all took the L, man. How the hell did y'all lose this game? You dropped 64, man. What the hell happened, man? And again, it ties into the
Lamont asked a wild ass question. That man asked the man how he lost the game. Lamont asked a wild ass question.
I was like, why? Well, Lamont really asked that.
Lamont, he could have framed it better because like I kind of got where he was going at first because he started off right because he was talking about scoring, and then at the end he just switched. I mean, how the hell did you lose that game? You scored 64 points and lost. What the hell happened, man?
Shows how important scoring is.
Let's continue.
the larger conversation where people talk about scoring is the most important thing, and you dropped 64 and y'all couldn't pull through, man. What happened, man? Yeah, you got to give me the insider on this, man.
Mm-hmm.
I played against 4 D1 guys and a future Dallas Cowboy. And on my team, it was just me. So
Now hold up. Now is that him throwing his teammates under the bus? Like they say LeBron would be doing all the
Yep, he
time,
said
right?
it was just
Is that him not taking accountability? Right? That's what the Zesties would say, that he's just, you know, because you know he's going to say some stuff the Zesties like. But they're going to bypass him saying this. But he's basically saying, bro, I was on the team.
It gets better.
I know it gets better. But he's making, he makes a hell of a sense. And I can't wait till he finishes saying what he says, which is why I like this interview, right, Olo? Because when you asked him a question, he didn't have just a simple answer. Like he really went in on his answer, and you can tell he liked to talk and break things down for people, right? So it was great to just ask him one thing and then he'll go for like 2-3 minutes and really give a good answer. You know what I'm saying? So let's let him break it down. Let's let him break it down to why he lost 60 by scoring 64, because that's what Lamont want to know.
How the hell?
you know, it's like I fought the good fight. This team was in the championship the year before, so they took an L the year before. So they're coming back as seniors, and we only had 2 seniors. So there was no way that they were going to allow one person to beat them. It wasn't going to happen. I had 64 to 83 points. They scored 89. You know, and that's all it takes, right? I mean,
See, now that's very important that he said that. He said, I scored 64 of 83 points that we had, but they scored 89.
Damn.
Right? So no matter how good you are as an individual scorer, what's truly better on the basketball court, if scoring is the most important thing, right? What's truly more important in the game of basketball court? To have one good scorer or have 5? Right? Right? What's better? Right? And obviously he's just telling you, bro, if you got 5 good scores, it don't matter how good of a scorer you is, you ain't gonna win. You ain't gonna win.
you got to get to the second guy, the guy that gives the most production other than me. He got low bridge in the first quarter of the game, and he was never the same. He fell on his back. He was done. He limped up and down the court the whole time. But that was the only one that wasn't really scared of the moment. The rest of these cats on my team never been there. So they don't even play. They didn't even play AAU. So they didn't know what, you know, the bright lights felt like. So it was different. And when I looked around in the locker room and I saw everybody's eyes, I was like, "Oh, I'm by myself." I already knew it. So you know, you can't. There's no one person that can beat a whole team. And I scored 64 twice that year. Once was in 3 quarters. I averaged 44 a game in a 32-minute game. And we only lost 3 times that year, but we lost the most important games that had multiple guys on the team that can play. You know, so you know, and that's and I'm talking about multiple college players on the team. I lost to Brian Russell and Ray O's in the sectional championship. They were on the same team, and they had another dude, Carlos Duz, was a point guard in college as well. So 3 D1 guys and 2 pros. So came back and beat them in the state playoffs. My coach was really good, so he knew some adjustments to make. Then we played Dominican.
Yeah, Sharone, I heard them saying that we had no pushback. That's not our job. We're not interrogating these. We're interviewing them. We're not
Yep.
interrogating them. We're here to get their insight. What's the purpose of bombarding them because they say something you don't like? Like, but you think an interviewer is supposed to get every answer that they expect to get from an interview? No.
Yep.
You ask questions, you get the answers, you move on. That's why Sharone and them like coming to us, because we're not zesty. We're not gonna sit here and argue with them about things.
Nope.
Yeah, we're not gonna argue with them. Like, we're not here to argue with a basketball professional NBA player. But the one thing the zesties won't say is how these guys, like Lamont said, praise today's NBA. He said it. There's no GOAT. We're gonna hear him tell us there is no such thing as the GOAT of basketball. He's going to say that. But they don't want to hear that part. They just want to hear the part about how the 90s was still good and the guys that they played with were good basketball players, which we know. They're NBA players. Nobody ever said that. But the zesties get mad because we always tell y'all there's no crying in the GOAT debate. If y'all want to sit here and talk about how today's NBAs are bad and they're telling you today's NBA players ain't bad, then take it too. Why you ain't arguing with them? Why you ain't arguing with Tracy when he put LeBron James alongside Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant in the middle of this conversation, when he's going to start talking about being a great elite scorer and how difficult it is to be that guy, and how there's just certain. Yeah, go ahead.
We don't even, you know, you good. We don't even want to argue with the zesties. Why the hell are we gonna argue with the NBA players? Who are y'all? Who are y'all? If we don't want to argue with y'all,
Exactly. Like, they don't make no sense. Like, what we supposed to be like? I'm not gonna sit here and argue with no Tracy Murray. Trust me, when he said the hand checking stuff and the spacing and what Jordan and them would do against the Warriors and all that stuff, I didn't believe that nonsense. But I'm not gonna sit here and argue with him about it. That's his insight. That's how he feels, and that's fine. Like, that's perfectly fine. It lets us understand what they, you know what I'm saying, what they think and what they going. That's the point of having them up here. The point of them coming up here ain't for us to debate them and beat them in a debate. That's what zesties be wanting to do. They want to debate everybody. Shout out to the Hardwood Authority inside in the building. Inside the what's good, bro?
What's going on, man? I'm just here to hear this show. Heard it live in person because you know it's better if you watch it live.
That's true. That's true.
You gotta be there. You gotta be there.
You gotta be there. So y'all make sure to follow FYF Sports Debate and GOAT James Kingdom on TikTok, and also follow these gentlemen on TikTok as well, because we be doing lives and we have a lot of fun on TikTok. So again, we're all over the place. Y'all know GOAT James Kingdom is not only on YouTube, we're on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. We're all over the place, and so are the GJK members and GJK assassins, man. So shout out to all of y'all. We got New World in the building. What's good, New World?
Salute, family. Salute.
Yeah, man. Let's get right to it. Again, Lamont asked a wild question about scoring 64 points and losing, and he's basically saying how, listen, no matter how good you are as a player, you can't beat 5 guys.
We beat them. They had 3 or 4 D1 guys. Then we went to the state championship and got beat. You know, and there was a guard that went, one of the twins. He went for 36. They had another guy that was a wing player that went for 21, I believe. And then the rest of them just rebounded, played defense, hit me whenever they could. You know, it was, you know, they wore me out. They wore me out, and they deserved to win because they were the better team.
Man, do you ever compare that, or did you take anything from that 64-point loss and incorporate that when you dropped 50 in the league, right? Did any of that carry over?
Yeah, it did carry over because the 50 against Golden State was in the same building I lost to and scored the 64. So I was familiar with the building, but this time, you know, and when I walked in as a Wizard that night, you know, every time I walked in that building, the ushers will always be messing with me. No 64 tonight, no 64 tonight. And you know, so I would always feel comfortable in that building because they remember what happened. That night, there was a couple of motivations. Number one, I had just got done shooting in the 3-point contest. So I kind of felt like an all-star being part of All-Star Weekend, even though I wasn't. You know, you just feel you got this different bounce to your step, a different confidence. Then now I'm walking into a building.
Yeah, man, shit, I felt like an all-star, even though I wasn't an all-star. I was in the I was in the 3-point contest though. He didn't even say where he finished that. He just like, I was just in it. I was in. He could have ended it in the first round.
Insert Patrick Beverly Timberwolves clip here.
Yeah.
in which I had 64 in. We're playing a shorthanded Golden State Warriors, and we're also shorthanded. So I knew if I made a mistake, I wasn't coming out the game. So, you know, when you feel that comfortable and you know that you're going to be out there and you know you're not going to be looking over your shoulder to come if the buzzer rings, you know, you feel comfortable. And then the number one most motivating part of that game was me and PJ Carlissimo, and we're cool now, but that's the reason why I got traded out of Portland. We kind of got into it. And, you know, I swore if I ever saw him again that I was going to make them pay. And he was the head coach of Golden State at the time. It was right a little bit after the Sprewell situation.
50.
So
put 50 on
but
PJ head.
I felt a certain way about him, so I was extra motivated.
Okay. Hey,
and then
what year he played in Washington? Was he there with Jordan? No, he wasn't there with Jordan. No, right?
Nah. He was because he was on the Lakers in 02, 03. He was on Washington in 97, 98. I think he left. Let me check it real quick.
Yeah, double check that.
I don't think he played with Jeffrey, because if he did, that would have been crazy if we asked Jeffrey questions.
This was definitely way before Jeffrey. Well, not way before,
I know.
Yeah, because it would have been 02, because in 03 he was
inside was white. I mean, inside was right. Didn't you say 98?
Yeah, he played in 98 because he played with C. Webb and
yeah,
Rod
he was
Strickland.
right. He was right about that.
Did, that's right. He did say that. He did say that. He played with Rod Strickland and Juwan Howard and them. You're right. He did say that. All right. Right.
You know, we talk about 50 points and all of that going into the same building. I mean, I also knew the importance of having a great point guard. Rod Strickland was incredible that night. His triple-double that night, 22 points, 20 assists, and 12 rebounds. That was a monster triple-double, bro. So we did that on the same night together. He gave me my best night, and he had a hell of a night for himself as a pro. So, you know the importance of having great teammates, you know, and guys that can play, guys that you know that you can count on. In high school, I only had one guy I can count on, and he got hurt.
And that's how it goes sometimes, y'all. If you ain't got the guns with you, if you ain't got enough at certain levels, it's over with. I don't care how good you is. That's just how basketball is. You can't outscore an entire team. Good luck trying. It's hard. Hold on. I want to go to inside. I saw you, but I want to go to Ajani first, man. You know, the co-host. Let me go to Ajani real quick, because
hey, y'all know, I was in the middle of Walmart at this time, in the middle when this live started. I swear I was in Walmart. I was trying so hard to get home, man, but I was in Walmart. But I had to get some stuff for my kids' school, and I was in Walmart.
Scam Johnny, scam Aunt.
Yeah, scam. Yeah, you gotta wait your turn, nigga. It's the shit. I'm the co-host, nigga. I get thirsty.
Hey, mind you, we can keep playing. When I first raised my hand, Johnny wasn't even on the pin. Yeah, I was hurt.
Yeah, because the monitor tell me I'm going live in 5 minutes, and then he be live in 15. So I'd be like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not just gonna be sitting on TikTok waiting for Lamont to go live, man. Just refreshing my phone.
You sound like Juan boy.
Yeah, man. Like, damn, nigga. Damn.
I know he got a lot of questions. I know he heard that answer. What you got for us, Johnny, man?
Yeah. Appreciate. Hey, thanks, Sharone, and obviously Tracy for showing up tonight for this conversation. I just wanted to discuss that. Being that Lamont mentioned you scored 64 points and you was an elite first option coming into the league. Sharone explained the sacrifices players have to make to be a part of an NBA roster and to play in the NBA. Can you explain your transition from being an elite first option to having to learn a new adjustment, a new role coming into the NBA to be a professional athlete as long as you were able to play in the NBA?
That's a heck of a question, because a lot of people don't understand the.
That's how you ask a question, Lamont. Not what Lamont say. Lamont say, "How you lost that game? How you lost that game? You scored 64 points."
He was being messy. He was being
from the jump, off the top. First question: how you lost? You scored 64.
He said. Scored 64, and I noticed you lost. Dang.
Has to be made, because when you're coming into the NBA, everybody's great. Everybody was that number one option in high school. They're that number 1-2 option in college.
Beverly moment.
You know, and some were great enough to come right from high school to the NBA. So when you have that much talent, everybody can score. Everybody is capable of putting up tremendous numbers on certain nights because everybody is that good. There is a sacrifice that you have to make in order to play in the NBA, you know, and one thing about me, all of my deficiencies showed up when I got on that level. When I was in high school and college, I only guarded 4 and 5 men. Now I have to get out there and move my feet against Tracy McGrady, Grant Hill, and Scottie Pippen. I've never played on the perimeter before. So it took me 3 years to figure out how to guard somebody on the perimeter and the defensive scheme that they wanted me to do. After that, I mean, I always could score on that level, but defensively is where I had to catch up at. If I can contain a person for a couple of dribbles, the help will be there. But if there were blow-bys, there was nothing that they can do, you know, to help me. So I had to individually work on that part of it, getting stronger, getting more athletic, learn how to put the ball on the floor where it made sense, not just dribbling in one spot for 20 dribbles to try to ISO somebody.
Hey, John.
You know, the point guard gets to dribble that much.
What happened? Yeah,
You heard what he said? Not dribbling. Yeah.
No, Hassan.
Yeah.
Stop Hassan. He said he had to learn. He said he had to learn to put the ball on the floor.
You know,
He said I had to learn to put the ball on the floor at the right time because that's
got to get to your spot.
No, but imagine that. Imagine you as somebody who can put up 64 in the game, somebody who can control a game, and then you get to the NBA and they're like, bro, we don't even want to put you in the game. He said one mistake.
Oh man, that's crazy work, man.
Right? Like, but imagine the adjustment you got to make. Like he said, like that's a big adjustment to make mentally, everything. Like he said, now you realize, there's a lot more I gotta do. I gotta do a lot more. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and imagine he's the 18th pick in the draft. He's not like a scrub.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, you just got to think about it like that. And remember, he said that he was saying about how when he scored 50, he didn't have to worry about being benched because of one mistake. So imagine someone like him, if a coach don't like you, like you were saying, you got a PJ Carlissimo, you got a Phil Jackson, like he said, who didn't even relate to him in any kind of way. Like, what are you supposed to do? You just there. You know what I mean? So it's very difficult to be in the NBA and to play, like I said, 12 years like he played. Again, it showed his professionalism and showed that he was really good at what he did because there was teams signing him left and right. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to him. Shout out to Tracy.
Hey, shout out
The
to
wing guys, you
anybody
got-
that had a career longer than 4 years, nigga. We not Rashad McCants out here.
Ooh.
But don't say that because Sharone only had 4 or 5 years, but there's a difference.
Ooh.
Sharone got into a car accident. He got into a car accident.
That's different. That's different.
Yeah, that's different. No, he got into a
McCants-
car accident.
Yeah, no, that's different.
Yeah.
Rashad McCants didn't last more than 4 years because of him.
His attitude got got
that's
my
true.
delay.
Because he's a quitter, nigga. That's why.
He's a quitter.
Can't spell can't. You can't spell can'ts without spelling can't.
Get him, New World. Get him, New World.
Lord.
They get New World starters.
Get him, New World.
3-4 dribbles to make it happen, or else it's not
yeah,
going to happen.
Wait. He said, all right, he didn't say 1-2. He said 3-4 dribbles, though. He said 3-4 dribbles, not 1-2 dribbles now. So which one is it? Is it 1-2 dribbles or 3-4 dribbles?
Inside, Johnny. No.
Nah, I just want to know. What you mean you an inside? Y'all wouldn't count dribbles the other
needed
day.
to run that back. We needed to run that back, bro.
You know what's so funny?
I sound like he said
I'm
3,
gonna run
4
it back.
dribbles. I didn't hear nothing about no 1-2.
New World was there. Yeah, New World. New
I
World.
remember this shit.
New World was there that day.
I
New
remember
World
this
was
shit.
there that day. New World was with me on that day. We
New
were
World,
talking.
you know they
and
agree with us. Stop playing.
No,
Nah,
this is
nigga, I
the
didn't
fun
agree
thing.
with
New
you
World.
niggas.
Exactly, you did. New World.
the
Nah,
player
it was
pick-
New World and I
Tracy
versus y'all two, right? And
I
just
should've
the other
asked him that
day.
question.
No, just the other day, Olo was in the live
He
and
said you should ask him that.
we were watching Harden dribble, and he was counting the dribbles outside.
Kyrie, too.
Outside, yeah, and Kyrie. Y'all were counting the dribbles when y'all were telling us those dribbles didn't count when we were doing it before. But when we was watching Harden play, I forgot who we was watching play, and we was like, look, y'all want to count those dribbles. It's no more 1-2 dribble when it gets to the paint stuff no more. But let's go ahead and replay what he said about.
So guys like Harden them that's the exception because
Yeah.
they're the ones that
It's
they got
exception.
that.
Yeah, there's always an
Nah, it
exception.
is.
Yeah.
Not everyone's gonna be able to have the freedom that Harden, Shea,
Yeah, we know
all
Harden
those
goes
guys
for
have.
15
Yeah,
seconds.
that's
But
why you
Kyrie
have
and
100
Shea, the film that we can show you with Kyrie and Shea, they wasn't dribbling for 20
Yeah,
seconds. They was getting to their
that-
shit.
Yeah, that's why you get 150 people watching you on your TikTok live. You be jiving all the time, capping all the time. Let's go. Let's
Ball
play.
on the floor where it made sense, not just dribbling in one spot for 20 dribbles to try to ISO somebody. You know, the point guard gets to dribble that much. The wing guys, you got 3-4 dribbles to make it happen, or else it's not gonna happen. So I had to really learn the game as a pro before I really got on the floor on a consistent basis. And then once you do learn, you got to understand who the men are too. You can't overstep who those guys are. You know,
Sure
no,
can.
because they're getting paid millions and millions of dollars to shoot 20 to 25 shots a game. You can't come off the bench or be a starter and shoot more than them. Now you're overstepping the pecking order. You know what I'm saying?
What Lamont
Shout out to
always says
Iman
is,
Shumpert and Carmelo.
right? But that's what Lamont says all the time, right? Everybody has roles. You can't be a second option to give you a first option. You can't be a third option to give you a first option. Everybody has to play a role. Roles have to be defined. And if you're playing outside of those parameters, it's not good. It's not really good. Right? And that's like that. Lamont's famous player to bring up in this situation is Cam Thomas. He always says this is why Cam Thomas can't play in the NBA because he think he the first option everywhere he goes.
Chill. That's inside Cam folk, man.
Look. Just let it slide, bro. Hey, back to the film.
Too many dribbling though. You don't know how to do no 3-4 moves. 3-4 dribble moves. He got 20 dribbles and shit, man. You don't know.
And so that's another thing that, and Sharone can definitely speak on that one. You have to fall in line pretty much. You know, if it's for you to shoot that much, then it's for you. You know, most lottery picks get that freedom. You know, I don't think Sharone got that freedom in Philly, but most lottery picks get that freedom right away to kind of, especially in this day and age, to come out there and shoot the ball, man. You know, but we came up in a different era where we had to start on the bench and kind of earn our way.
Yeah, that was a different NBA.
And we got insight. What
Okay,
you got for us?
and so that's a great insight. That's great insight. Appreciate that. No, I was saying that was great insight because it was kind of tailing into Lamont's conversation
Walmart,
about
so I don't know if I'm being heard
whether
or not.
you know
That's why I
how
hate
important
TikTok.
it is to just be a scorer. But obviously, from what you're saying, there's more to the game than just being a scorer. Coming into the NBA, you gotta have a variety of skills to be able to last a very long time in the NBA, not just be a great scorer. So that was great. That was great.
And Sharone can also tell you this: it's not just what you do on the court; it's also what you do off the court. You know what I mean? You have to do your appearances. You have to, do your, if you have some things that the office wants you to go to represent the organization, you have to go do that. Sign your autographs, take your pictures. There are things that you may not feel like doing sometimes. It's part of selling the game of basketball. You have to do it because it is a business. And for those who don't understand that part of it, they don't last very long. So you have to understand the business side of it as well, because playing is only a small part of it. Selling the game of basketball is the bigger part. You got to be able to put butts in seats.
And to even go there, to go further with that, I'm gonna interject right quick. When we first got to Toronto, one of our main goals was to be in the community, right? So we were doing, when you got a new franchise to a new country, we were doing clinics and camps like every week. We had a dude named Al Quantz who had us. We were in Scarborough, Mississauga, London. We were in Barrie. We was in those places. And guess who the little kids were? Jamal McGlure, Andrew Wiggins, the kid that plays point guard at Denver, Jamal Murray. Those are those kids. We knew those kids.
Dylan Brooks was at one of mine.
Those are the kids. We knew those kids, and we knew. So we paved the way for those kids to start, getting recruited and all that. Because before us, they weren't on the map nowhere.
Yep.
Can I ask y'all both something?
They didn't even know if they can if they can do it. It was a hockey town. Baseball was there, but they never been around NBA players. They never knew it was possible to make the NBA because they were in Canada. They were away from the NBA, man. So they didn't know it was possible.
Yeah.
Y'all both. So, and Inside, I'm gonna come right to you next. I only got to ask this because they brought up the climate in Toronto.
Oh,
if I'm correct, when y'all started playing in Toronto, I don't even know if Toronto was ready for basketball, because didn't they have y'all playing out of a baseball stadium to start?
Yeah, the Sky Dome.
Yeah, the Sky Dome. So you guys, what did y'all feel like Toronto was even a basketball ready city? Like, was they ready for the game of basketball, or was part of the adjustment? As far as incorporating Toronto, did you guys have to sell basketball to the city?
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah, it's a combination of both. Mm-hmm. I played on the 91 Pan American team, so a couple of our practice games was up there in Toronto, and they were preparing for the NBA then. We played in the Sky Dome for those practice games, and they had the setup already the way they wanted it in the Sky Dome. And Sharone, I tell you, like practices were cold. It was cold for practice.
Yeah, well, hell yeah.
No, it was really cold. We had beanies on. We had our sweats on. But most of the time, we were practicing at Glendon College, Sharone?
Yeah.
But when we were in that Sky Dome practicing, it was cold in there. But other than that, man, the whole setup, set it.
This is why. Shout out to 2 Cents, but this is why sometimes New World and Juan Boy be calling you Zesty. No, we're not debating NBA players. We're interviewing NBA players. We're not interested in arguing with NBA players. We're interested in information NBA players have to give us. This is what the point of this. This has nothing to do with the debate. This is not debate. We did not bring up Tracy Murray and Sharone Wright for debate purposes. These are NBA players, 2 Cents. These are dudes that are going to give us insight. No, so there was no debating, nothing of the sort. It's just basketball discussions, talking basketball. Like getting more insight on what NBA players think, how they feel, what they go through. You know what I'm saying? Different things. That's really it.
You have a guy. Well, you have NBA players, but you're not bringing them up to debate. You're bringing them up to pick their brain. That's what you're doing. Bring them up to pick their brain. They got stories. They got all this, and then potentially you can get a lot more opportunities instead of just burning bridges and trying to debate somebody.
Yes, no, this is not a debate show. What debates do you just have?
Ouch. The
We
truth
don't have
hurt.
no debates on here. They're scared to debate us. 2 Cents, there's nothing to debate. LeBron's the GOAT. That's the point of being zesty. There shouldn't be a debate. There shouldn't be. We should all appreciate basketball. Like I don't get this. Like I don't get why basketball fans feel like we have to have this. Football fans don't do this shit. Football fans don't sit around here and argue about football, man. Why do basketball fans feel like every basketball discussion has to be an argument of opposite sides? And shout out to you 2 Cents, because I got nothing but respect for you, but come on, bro. Let's just keep it real. I know it was a question, 2 Cents, but it was a silly question. You smart enough to know not to ask no dumb question like that on Go James Kingdom. We're not here to debate basketball players. It says FYF Sports Debate. That's the name of Lamont's channel. He created his channel on debating on the internet. We got you. But when you have a professional athlete at your midst, you're not going to sit here and argue with them. Who does that? That's zesty as it gets. So, no, we are recapping an interview that we did earlier this week, right? With Sharone Wright and Tracy Murray. Really with Tracy Murray, because we've had Sharone Wright on the TikTok takeover multiple times, and we've already interviewed him and conversated with him about, what he's been through. He gave us some great stories. Michael Jordan's his GOAT, right? Like he said, I'm not debating nobody with that. F you, I saw him. I don't care what none of y'all say. That's what he says. That's his take. Tracy came up there and told us there's no such thing as a GOAT. There's no such thing as a GOAT. Everybody played in different eras versus in different rules versus different competition. There's no way to truly evaluate one player from the next from different generations. They're all great. They're all phenomenal. So
Come
that's
on,
what we're here
man.
to do.
We know they not trying to argue this shit no more. It ain't no point trying to debate these niggas. Even the players know what it is. That's why Sharone tell you what he tell you. Another nigga said that there is no GOAT. Because they know what it is at this point.
Yeah, the link's available for the GJK members. You a member. It's available for you.
Up, the best way
Go to
they
the GJK
could.
community.
And they had plans to move to the Air Canada Center. I know you remember that model that was on the desk, Sharon.
Yeah, I remember.
Yep. They had a model of what the Air Canada Center was going to look like.
Yeah, they were starting to be. They were just in the beginning stages of it at that time. But we played in the Sky Dome.
Oh, so just to get refreshed back to what we're talking about. So Lamont asked him about Toronto and how it wasn't a basketball town when they started the Raptors. And these guys were a part of the expansion year. They played on the expansion 96 Toronto Raptors, and they're talking about how well the Toronto Raptors did at promoting the game in Toronto by making those guys go to different events and different kid camps and stuff like that. And like he said, they were eventually meeting kids like Wiggins and Jamal Murray and Jamal McGlure and all these kids that came out of Canada that we know today that play in the NBA, Dylan Brooks. All these kids were basically introduced to NBA players and the NBA by these guys who played in Toronto. So that's what they're talking about right now and how they had to, just deal with. Did he say that they were practicing in sweatsuits, like because it was cold in the arena? That what he said? Did y'all hear that?
Something like that.
That's crazy.
And I lived in the Sky Dome. I know Tracy
Me
did
too.
too for a minute.
Yep.
We lived in the Sky Dome, and I was not right, man. I was lifting weights with Boomer Wells every day.
Now that he says it, I remember that. I think the Sky Dome did have like apartments. That's how big it was. If I'm correct. It was a baseball stadium though. Baseball stadium holds like 40,000 people.
I was with Roger Clemens. Y'all know those guys. David Wells, Roberto Alomar. I was with those guys all the time. We were with them. Joe Carter. We were with those guys every day, man. We were eating with them and whatever. So that's a fun fact tidbit right there. But they were trying to be ready. They weren't ready, but they were trying to be ready. But it was up to us to take it to the next level. Like I said, we had a real good community PR guy named Al Quantz and Elaine Quan. They were all of us. We had so many appearances, but that's what it really took. When you got grassroots, we had to be grassroots, basically.
Yep. We were up and down Eastern Canada. I don't care where it was. I don't care if it was Nova Scotia. I don't care if it was Montreal. We were there. We were up.
Like imagine having to promote the NBA. Like you know what I'm saying? Like imagine they literally had to promote the NBA to get people to come watch them play. That's crazy.
Down Eastern Canada, it was a player, the Raptor, and 6 dance pack members. And we would pile up in a van and go. If we had to hit the plane, then we hit the plane. But we were up and down Eastern Canada selling the game of basketball those first couple of years.
All of our preseason games were on the East Coast of Canada. All of them. Sure were.
Saskatoon, all of that, bro. It was like it was everywhere.
I've never been to Canada.
But now you look at why Vancouver. You look at why Vancouver didn't last, and you look at why the Raptors last. Is because of the plans to go up and market to everybody. Basketball's in town. Follow these guys. This is who's taking us to the next level, and it helped that Damon Stoudemire got Rookie of the Year. That helped. It helped that we beat the 72-10 Chicago Bulls, which is, in my opinion, the best team in history. It was also helped that we beat the Eastern Conference champions from the year before, Orlando Magic, with Shaq and Penny and D. Scott and all of them. We beat them. We also beat the Western Conference champions, Seattle Supersonics.
Yeah, we beat Sean Kemp and them.
Yeah, so we beat some teams that year. We wasn't gonna win them all. We were an expansion team. We wasn't supposed to, but we provided some excitement. I think the biggest thing, and we didn't touch on this, Sharon and Lamont. We didn't touch on this. Where they weren't ready for us at was in the media, because when we look at, they had TSN, we were used to ESPN. So when they recapped or talked about Toronto Raptor basketball, we were behind the Blue Jays, the Argonauts. We're behind curling. We're behind all kind of winter sports. And then the last 5 minutes, by the way, the Raptors played tonight, and this was the score.
That man said we're behind curling. Can you imagine watching a sports highlight show and they showing you curling? That is hilarious, bro. Oh, my God. Oh.
So we had some work to do.
Yeah, we have.
That's crazy right there. And now TSN is much bigger now. Now you see TSN all over the place, which is crazy, man. Now it was. I didn't hear about it. Inside, I know you had something inside. I can ask these dudes questions all day, man. I can cook with them all day.
I know I got questions.
Hey, we got time.
Yeah.
Inside, what you got?
Salute, Mr. Murray. I want to ask you. I wanted to ask you a question. The first question I asked Mr. Sharone the first time I interacted with him, who was like your veteran or veterans that really brought you into the league? And then the second part of my question is, who's a player whose impact is a lot different when you're actually on the court with them versus what we see on TV?
Okay, my vet was Clyde Drexler, and he didn't have to be, bro. He's, top 50 players ever played the game. He was on Dream Team 1, but he saw something in me to where he put his arm around me and made sure I was good. When the trade happened in Portland, he made sure I was in the trade with him to go to Houston. So he looked out for me.
That's something that caught me when he said that. You heard what he said? He said Drexler made sure that he was in the trade.
Yeah, I was like, what? Clock got pulled like that?
Not only does Clyde got pulled like that, then obviously that's a lie that players went around here in collusion helping each other.
Man, we all knew this shit. We all knew this shit. Like they just love to cap about that stuff, man.
Yeah, because like he said, he's like, and even Sharone, because Sharone said he got traded because they asked everybody who wants to get traded. Sharone said, I do. He literally said that. I thought that was kind of crazy when like again, it shows you the madness that goes on in an NBA team. Like, when we was watching that game today, you can see the clear difference between Alvin Gentry and Phil Jackson. And like, can you just imagine the difference in between practices and the culture between Phoenix and LA at that time because of coaching? Like there's just certain franchises that are really invested and know what they're doing. There's other ones that are just out there just going by day, just doing their thing. They just, they're just trying. Like he said, the Raptors were trying to sell basketball in Canada. The Vancouver Grizzlies couldn't and didn't try. So guess what happened? They got kicked out. You know what I'm saying? But it's crazy that he said that. But that's basically Clyde Drexler, who demanded a trade out of Portland, also was like, hey, yeah, if you're gonna trade me, I want Tracy Murray to come with me too as well. Tracy Murray, and then Houston's like, yeah, we'll take Tracy Murray. Okay, fine. We want you that bad. Like you said, he got enough pull, Olo, that he can say, yeah, we'll take Tracy Murray along with you because we need
That's
you.
crazy, yo.
That's crazy, right? That's crazy.
On so many fronts at the beginning of my career that I can't thank him enough. Magic Johnson was my vet while I was in college because we worked out with the Lakers a lot up at the UCLA run. So he was running everything. I got a lot of insight from him back then. And Michael Cooper, I grew up in his camps. So, I was always around some pros. And then it helped. It's almost like they kind of, here's the baton. The next person mentor this guy. You know what I mean? And after Clyde, it was Isaiah when I got to Toronto. And then, after that, it's always been Isaiah after that. Even when I left, he was always there to pick up a phone and talk, but yeah, I mean that was my vets.
Johnny, pause it real quick.
You think of people,
so this is another player saying that Isaiah Thomas was one of the greatest things to ever happen to him. There's another player saying that Isaiah Thomas sounds like a far better person than Jeffrey. I'm just gonna say that. I don't hear no players talk about Jeffrey like
There's
this.
a lot of players, especially Sharone Wright. So Sharone Wright said he'll come through the phone about Isaiah Thomas. If you say something that he don't like about Isaiah Thomas,
See what I'm saying? That's what makes
now we
Steven
got.
Jackson even more of a bitch made nigga than he already was before.
Oh,
But then Steven Jackson, he was on all the smoke with Steven Jackson though. What did Steven Jackson
Yeah, I
say?
know. He
yeah, he
called that nigga
was.
out
He
because
was.
Steven Jackson forgot that
The
Zeke was the
push him
one that
left
helped him out
interview.
and helped him
Hey
get
Johnny,
back
the
into
push
the
him left
league. This
interview
nigga
was
was
on
talking all
Office
type of shit about this man just because he a fan of Michael Jordan. I think they
Yeah.
had one of them niggas up there calling Jeffrey the GOAT, and they're sitting there making fun of Isaiah Thomas because it was after the Last Dance when Michael called this man an asshole and all this other shit.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
hey,
I
Johnny,
remember that he
the
did
push
tell
him
him
left.
that. He did tell him. He did tell. I know the push from left video that we had, but also when he told him, he said, "Remember, I called the league for you," and he was like, "Dan, you're right. You did call the league and got me back into the league." He had to remind him.
He's on his way out the league. I remember that one.
Is how you gonna forget a nigga helping you
How
like
you gonna
that,
forget?
and then you gonna turn around and make fun of this man behind his back? That's some. He a rat too.
Yeah,
He must be
well, we
related to
know.
Whitney.
First of all,
New
we
word.
know Steven Jackson is paid with the Jordan brand. We already know that. That we
Yeah.
already know. Yeah.
That is more of an impact than it seemed on the court.
Oh, wait, let me get the 2 cents comment in here. Shout out to 2 cents, man. Yeah, of course, 'cause 2 cents. 2 cents. You know we the best out here. I know it's disparaging. A lot of the zesty channels you were used to seeing on YouTube are no longer around. They've kind of dwindled away. They're only the extremists, and you're not one of the extremists. So, GOAT James Kingdom is still here. We're real basketball fans, bro. You know that. So yes, this was a great Q&A. This was a great conversation we had with real NBA players, and we got some great insight. So again, the link for this live to join the panel is available for all GOAT James Kingdom members in the GOAT James Kingdom members community. And thank you for supporting GOAT James Kingdom, bro. You know we're gonna keep doing our thing, man.
I think a lot of people, even though he's a Hall of Famer, a lot of people
Got some
didn't
background
know
noise,
how good Vince Carter was. Like, this dude, he could have been, like, if he had Michael and Kobe's mentality, like, athleticism-wise, they couldn't touch him.
Yeah.
Skill-wise, he just kept getting better and better. I mean, I saw him score some easy 50-point games. It was easy. Like, nobody could guard him. But he didn't have the same, like, killer mentality. I'm going to slice you up and go at you. You know what I mean? He didn't have – it's like he would have fun and joke with you on the court, and then as soon as somebody hit him hard and knock him on the floor or something, then that's when he get mad and he'll run off like 15 straight. And I was like, man, if you ever played Mad the whole time, like, it would be incredible.
That was also interesting that he said that about Vince Carter, because a lot of people say that about Vince. I just don't know. Is that maybe something a coach has to get out of you somehow to motivate you, or is it just that he was just too nice? Because I don't
think he was nice, bro. Especially you see how he be doing niggas dirty on the other team. I just think it's a coaching perspective. Like, they didn't want another Michael Jordan in the league. Like, he came in, bro. Like especially you see the type of hype that Vince Carter had, bro, going into the 2000s. They didn't want him to be where he was gonna be.
And he was on what's it called too, Jordan. Like, he just
Yeah, he was on the Jordan brand. But like, bro, I'm telling you, like, why you think they did Kobe how they did Kobe? You know what I'm saying? Saying that he can't be shooting the ball like this. He a ball hog. They called this man Kubrick on national television. Like, they didn't want another Michael Jordan. Man.
They didn't want another Mike. Yeah, they didn't want another
even Allen Iverson doing what he was doing and getting the popularity he was getting. Niggas starting to say he's a better scorer than Mike. I know that was a very short-lived conversation, but niggas were saying that at some point. Figures after he got his third scoring title.
Yeah, because he was smaller than Mike, and people were saying, well, you know, if he, you know, because that was always the thing with Iverson, that he was always small, and that if he was big, imagine how great he would be then, or how much more greater he would have been. But I thought that was interesting. He said that about Vince.
He was just that gifted, that talented, that athletic. Like, he just didn't have the "I'm gonna kill you" mentality unless you like tried to beat him up or something.
Yeah, he was. He was
incredible, man. Incredible. Some of the stuff I saw in practice was ridiculous, bro.
Me too.
I know.
Me too. I know.
Herm, what
Well,
you
thank
got?
you for that. I appreciate that.
No
Thank you.
problem. Hey, there's one thing I wanted to say too. I wanted to apologize for everybody on here, man. It took me a while to get on. I didn't know what I was doing. I just wanted to apologize to everybody that's on here.
Shut up.
Oh man, you don't have to.
Man, it's all good, bro.
It's part of this
Apologize.
platform.
They
man.
gotta apologize. These are just TikTokers. They're just TikTokers. Don't worry, they'll be fine. They'll be over it.
No, but I
We'll get over
respect
it quickly.
people.
Trust me, sir.
I respect anything I don't know how to do. You know what I'm saying? So I was struggling with TikTok. I respect everybody that's on here, man.
Tracy, I'm gonna introduce you to my guy Herm. Herm, a real good dude, man, a real basketball fan. Go ahead, Herm.
Salute.
I can't believe Hollywood Herman's debating Fart the Dark today. That is the most dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. I'm telling you, I'm just gonna run out of people to talk to in conversations very shortly with that debate stuff going on over there.
That's why Lamont needs to stop scamming.
Yep.
Salute to you, Tracy, man. I look at your college career, especially what you did your junior year, averaging over 20, a little over 21, shooting over 50% from three, man. I feel like you was kind of ahead of your time for us being the lethal three-point shooter. How you think your game would translate if you actually played in this era, knowing that you was a three-point specialist at your time playing?
I think I would be valued more in this era because shooting is such a premium and there's such an emphasis that, you know, instead of making a couple of million a year, now I'm up there making, you know, close to 50, 60, 70, 80 million now because of the fact that shooting is such a premium now. You know,
Hey, the first thing he went to is how much money he make. He didn't say nothing about how much stats he would average, how much all NBA teams he would make, how good he
Hey,
would
notice
be.
I didn't hear him say nothing about no championships, nigga. He didn't
He
say
didn't
nothing
say
about no
nothing about nothing. He
championships.
didn't say nothing about how easy it would be for him to score. He just said, "Listen, man, because I can shoot, they would be
I
giving
get
me
the
all kind
money.
of contract. I get the money.
He said, I get the money, nigga. That's what I want.
I'm gonna get the bag. Fuck having a bag. I'm gonna get to the bag."
born in the wrong era for earning money.
Yeah,
But I
exactly.
felt like I was born in the right era of playing against some of the dudes I played against. It was just incredible. I played from the Magic Johnson era to the LeBron James era. So I played in a pretty doggone good era. You know what I mean? And Sharone can tell you, we saw some of the old greats, and then we saw the new superstars coming up. You know, I came in LeBron's last year. So, I mean, his first year, excuse me. So I saw a whole spectrum of talent, you know, and that's why when everybody get on these GOAT talks, it drives me crazy, bro, because you can't compare eras, man. You can't, because there's different rules for different eras. There was different rules when Will Chamberlain played and Bill Russell played than when Kareem played. And it was different eras. Like shit, they outlawed dunking. Kareem couldn't dunk, so they outlawed and put in different rules at different times. So you can't compare eras and compare, you know, say this guy's a GOAT over this guy because it's different rules, man. It's different rules.
Now you see, out of all of this, he still didn't say that he would dominate in today's NBA. And I had several Zesties come to me today, recently telling me about how he said that he would come out here and dog today's NBA, that he would play better in today's NBA. He clearly said that he would rather play in his era because he's comfortable in that era. And he also said what Lamont said, that they are a generation of the NBA players that were kind of dead smack in the middle of that 1900 to the 2000 era, right? They were there enough to see the Michael Jordans and, like he said, the Magic Johnsons in them, and also able to see the Kobe Bryant, T-Max, and Vince Carters and LeBrons in them. That's where they fit at in this category, which is basically two sides of a coin here when we're talking about basketball fans. There's the 1900 guys, and there's obviously the 2000 guys. But he never talked about how he would dominate today's NBA and how much better it would be. And he clearly said there's no such thing as a GOAT. Like, in his mind, it's just impossible to say somebody's the greatest player of all time. It's just too many eras, too many different things, too many variables. You just got to appreciate the game. So I like his answer here. This was actually a good answer to Herm's question.
A little bit more traveling and freedom with moving your feet nowadays. And I remember I was Rod Strickland's teammate for 6.5 years. He did a Euro step, and they used to call traveling on him. And he's like, what did I do? It's just, but Euro is allowed all the time now. And you got to thank Ginobili for that. They put in rules for some of these Europeans to come in here and succeed. So it's different rules, man. And that's why, I think the great players, they transcend eras. They can play in any era, all the great players. But to say one is better than the other one because of this, that, and the other, I think it's different because there's rules, man. Like, I can't picture Michael Jordan being in this era where they barely let you touch him. Could you imagine that? He was getting clotheslined, right?
If you saw my face when he said that, this man said Jordan was getting clotheslined. I was like, bro, what are you talking about? You played in that era. They were not clotheslining people.
I always ask, why can we never find the same images that these niggas be always telling us about? I can never find this shit.
Not only that's the only part of the whole live the Zesties heard was that. They didn't hear nothing else. That was the only part of the live they heard was that right there. Everything else, they didn't care about. They didn't register. Nothing. That was the only thing of that entire. Like I said, we're going to go into 2 hours of a conversation. That is the only thing the Zesties heard was right. That part right there when he said that Michael Jordan would be able to dominate with space. But you heard what he said. All greats would dominate all eras. So he's also saying LeBron would dominate Jordan's era. But they didn't hear that part. That part they didn't hear. They didn't hear how the players that are dominating today were still dominating Jordan's era. That part they didn't hear. All they heard was Jordan would come into this era and dominate, and this era sucks because of it. Like, that's literally what they heard. That's why
I can't stand that shit.
Yeah,
it's really insane.
Special human beings. They're specials. Yeah, it's crazy. I can't take it neither, New World. Because when he said, you should have saw my face, New World. Next time y'all go, this is about at the 1 hour and 4 minute mark. Watch my face because I put my camera on, and you should have saw my face when he said Jordan was getting closed on. I was like, really, we really gonna do this now? And the hand checking talk, knowing they were calling hand checking in his era, he gonna literally said that hand checking existed. Come on, man, stop this, Tracy.
Now you can't. Now you have to, you can't hand check, you can't touch.
See?
Could you imagine guarding Michael Jordan or Vince Carter or Kobe? Kobe had a little bit of this era. But imagine guarding those guys and you can't form them, you can't, there were some dudes that used to use 2 hand checks back in the day. Derek Harper used to control you with one hand. Like, you can't do that in this era. And it's tough. Like, I'm not going to ever disrespect this era because there's some things that this era can do that's unbelievable. The way they move, the jump, they're creative with their dribbles. Steph Curry took shooting to another level. I mean, these guys are super talented and creative in how they score the basketball nowadays. So I can't
see the Zesties didn't hear that. That they didn't hear. This is why I say there's no point of arguing because at the end of the day, they're giving us their insight. Like, there's going to be some things this guy is going to say that I'm going to agree with. Some things he's going to say I'm just not going to agree with. And that's completely fine. My job as an interviewer, or our job as an interviewer, is to just ask great questions to get this kind of information, to get him to speak like this, for him to be as candid as he was. And this is another thing, too. I wanted to make sure people understood this. I'm going to take credit for some of this because when Sharone first showed up, if I didn't shut everybody down that not asking about who he was before us talking to him about basketball, it probably wouldn't have went as good as it went that night. The fact that I told everybody and I shut it down and I said, listen, man, we're not going to probe this man to find out who he is. He said he played in the NBA. Let's just talk to him about the NBA and leave it at that. And we went that whole night talking to him until he gave us enough information by talking to him to find out who he really, really was. Not to mention his name was the 6th pick of the 94 draft. It wouldn't take that hard. But still, at the end of the day, I knew that if we started finding out who he was, it was going to become, oh, we can debate this guy because he didn't even play that much. He was a scrub. Like, because that's, y'all know how TikTokers are. That's exactly what it would have turned into, and I wouldn't allow that to happen. If dudes would be talking disrespectful to Gilbert Arenas, imagine what they would, like I said, and we've had people that try to be disrespectful to Sharone. We had Sports Fluent make a video saying Sharone's a liar, all because they don't like what Sharone says, because they just, again, these niggas are in their feelings, very zesty people. So I was glad that I was able to pull that off that night, because after that night, I talked to Lamont about it. Lamont agreed. He was like, yeah, that was like the best thing to do, because at the end of the day, we really just got a candid conversation with him. He no longer felt like he had to defend himself or put up any kind of defense mechanism. He could have just talked to us. So this is the point of the interview, is to get them to talk to you, to get them to conversate with you, get them to open up with you. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, that was perfect, because I'm glad you shut up Jalen too when that happened, because this nigga over here trying to talk about how much you get paid and the contract situation and all that shit. I'm like, nigga, why you need to ask this man that? Come on now.
Yeah, exactly. And imagine, he went on Herm's live, and he's been on the Zesty lives, and they wild over there. You know, like how they are. You know what I'm saying?
But the thing is that I don't care if it's an NBA player, your mama, your auntie. I think I thought we all grew up, like, even when you ask, like, if you say you're doing well, I'm doing well for myself. We don't ask about people's money. That's just dumb. I thought that was just like common sense, though. I thought that was just like, that's in general life. That's not really something you ask about. It's too personal.
Yeah. But again, you know, it's TikTok, and that was one of the things. And I don't know if Lamont wanted me to come to TikTok for that. I think he just wanted to have a partner to do TikToks with, because he was completely unfamiliar with it. But I had told Lamont, man, these are the things you're going to see on TikTok, because I knew how TikTok was. So I just knew at that moment in time when we had a real NBA player, and he said he was, that I wasn't going to let none of them TikTokers mess this up for us. And I'm glad that I did that, because like I said, it got Sharone Wright to feel comfortable with us. Like he said, I felt like family, because that showed him a level of respect. Like, hey, we respect you for who you are. We don't need to probe you, because again, that's why he doesn't have his name up there, because he understood putting his name out there and doing that's just too much. He just wants to be on the internet just chilling. He don't want to be too much drama. So that was great. And since then, like he said, we've had a great relationship with him. It's been phenomenal, and he's been able to open up and talk to other guys. Now he's cool with Herm. Because Herm did the same thing for him, because somebody went on Herm's live saying some crazy shit, and Herm had to check him, so that lets him know. You know what I'm saying? So, but I, like I said, that this is why I like this conversation, because Tracy was very candid with us. He was very open with us. We asked him one question, and he answered it, and then he gave us extra answers and more extra shits, and then gave us tidbits and tailored off into other things that were a part of the conversation or a part of the question. So it was a great interview. It was great to have him. He could come on anytime and talk with us at any time. That's always going to be cool with me.
Take nothing from this era either. So that's why I'm saying it's hard to say who the GOAT is, man, because no one can stop Kareem Skyhook. Who could do that? No one. Magic Johnson was great. Larry Bird, no one talks about him, but that dude, man, at 6'9", he did it all. I mean, you looking at Luka Doncic or Dirk Nowitzki, that's Larry Bird. You know, so I mean, we didn't even talk about Pistol Pete, some of the things he did. Iceman Gervin. You know, Dr. J was on people's mind all the time. And then you go look to this era, you look at what Kyrie's doing. I mean, LeBron, just go down the list. There are dudes that are great, man. So greatness is not defined by if you're the GOAT or not. I think there's a bunch of them.
I agree. And I got to ask you this one, too. Why you think the 72-10 Bulls is the best team ever put together, in your opinion?
Because we beat them.
This one, too. Why you think the 72-10 Bulls is the best team ever put together, in your opinion?
Because we beat them.
See, Sharone just gave us another tidbit by saying that. This is why a lot of these guys be glazing Mike, because they played alongside him. So saying these people are great, what does that say about me, right? This is like he said, I'm happy for the era I played in. I played against some great guys. Forget whether I could have averaged 30 in this era, made more money in this era. At the end of the day, I played in the era with Mike and the 90s, this golden era. Like, I played in this era. Like, I'm glad I played in this era amongst all these people. That's an attachment to it. They're attaching themselves to that greatness of that era. You see what I'm trying to say? And that's what people do. They attach themselves to Mike's greatness, because obviously they didn't do that much, right? If you go to his career, he didn't do that much. We're not gonna be sitting here talking about Tracy Murray when we talk about his resume. Like, you know what I'm saying? We just know he played in the NBA, right? That's why Lamont had to go. I mean, he did have a 50-point game. That's kind of crazy though, but to score 50 points in an NBA game and to be a bench player and do it too on top of it, that's kind of dope. But either way, it shows you, like he said, they be praising Mike and them because they just played in Mike's era. That's why you get guys like Glenn Rice and them and all these guys say the things that they say about Mike and the Byron Scotts and the Mario Ellies and these guys, because it's like, that's just my era. That's where I played in. That's just it. I'm gonna stick to it. You see what I'm saying? But again, good thing for these guys, they praise today's NBA. You heard what he said. Luka Doncic and this and Dirk Nowitzki. That's just another version of a Larry Bird.
Hey, no, the reason why I think so is because, as I say again, it was the physicality that was allowed back then. If you was to have that same physicality where you weren't allowed to let people run now, and I'm not saying Curry wouldn't be as good. He will probably figure it out somehow. But he's able to run around without dudes touching him up. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, if we I hated when they ran the floppy play and I had to run my ass through the middle, man. I would get touched up. Reggie Miller would get touched up. I mean, those dudes were strong, man. I hated getting hit by Oak. I hated getting hit by Mason. I hated getting hit by Ewing. You can't do that in today's era. And they've been letting them get away with some stuff in the playoffs lately. The playoffs have gotten physical lately. But it's like I just can't. I'm looking at matchups too.
You know why? That's the point. Like, because Oakley didn't have to guard to you. Because in this NBA, you can't do that. Because I'm just gonna run around you, and I'm still gonna get the screen. I'm still gonna get the ball, because that's the difference between today's NBA and what he's talking about. These guys today don't have time to just be physical. I'm just gonna be physical with you. That's just it. Like, that doesn't work anymore with today's players. They're too skilled. They're too smart.
No, but here's the thing, Johnny. It's a lie. No, it's a lie, because they be acting like Curry don't be getting fouled or touched up like that, bro. He one of the niggas that don't be getting calls when he's supposed to get them.
But the point is that after a while, that's just not going to work on Stephen Curry. You have to guard him. That's why now that's why he has gravity, because instead of you touching him up, you have to worry about him still getting open, because that's not stopping him. Once you touch him up, if he still gets open, what does it matter? He's going to hit it. You heard what he said? He said, I'm over here worrying about being touched. You shouldn't be worrying about that. You should be worrying about making this basket, because this play's being called for you. That's the point. I get what he's saying. Like, it was a physical sport, because there was a lot of grown men who couldn't play defense, that their only way of playing defense was to be physical. But at the end of the day, today's NBA players are just as physical, but they're just more skilled. So it doesn't matter. Skill's always going to trump physicality at any point in time. You can't just, you know what I'm saying? Like, the point is that today's NBA players can't just be physical. They actually have to play defense. Like, you can't just sit around and say, I'm just going to foul you. No, you have to physically know how to stop this guy from running around the screen. You have to strategically do it now. You can't just say, oh, well, I got Oakley, I got Dale Davis, I got Tyrone Hill, just throw an elbow. I got Otis Thorpe, just throw an elbow. Like, that don't make no sense. You see what I'm saying? But again, this is the part of the conversation. This is the only part of the conversation Zesty's heard.
And it's like, I don't think Draymond can keep Rodman off the boards. You know, it's like there's a few things, man, that, I mean, Michael, who was going to stop him? It wasn't like Golden State. They played defense, but not like that. Not stopping Michael like that.
Now, mind you, heard what he just said. They're not going to stop Michael. But then later on, I'm going to ask him a question about illegal defense and zone defenses. He's going to literally say that Mike would struggle versus zone defenses. He literally is going to say that. He's going to say Michael Jordan's not going to be able to get the shots and the looks that he got if we've allowed to play zone defenses versus him. But here he's going to say, how are you going to stop Michael Jordan? Zone defense. That's how he was going to stop Michael Jordan.
Thank you. I tell them all the time, Trace. They don't understand.
But I'm gonna say this too. I'm gonna say this too, Sharone. Put the Bulls in this era, they may not win, because
you already said. Look,
they don't understand.
But I'm gonna say this too. I'm gonna say this too, Sharone. Put the Bulls in this era, they may not win because it's the rules. It's the rules, bro. You know, it's the rules. If you're able to allow Steph to run, it's hard to keep up with him. If and then you put Michael in his era, the game is a little bit slower. It's not 125, it's 80 something, and everything is running through him in the triangle. He got a lot of space to work with. You got a versatile Scottie Pippen. You got a versatile Ron Harper who can guard anybody. Their bench, they had a bunch of now their bigs, in my opinion, wasn't gonna hurt you offensively, but they had 6 fouls and they were gonna hit you. They were big. They were big. They would hit you. Luke Longley would put you on your ass. Bill Winnington would put you on your ass. Tony Kukoc was really good. Like they had some really, and Tony was 6'11". People they underestimate how tall Tony was. They were a really big team. You know, it's like Michael was a 6'6", strong two guard. Now they didn't have a true point guard.
Now you
that for the triangle.
Now you notice everything he said about that team is basically size and strength. He didn't say nothing skill level wise. It was how tall somebody was or how strong somebody was, not necessarily how skilled they was. Like he did already mention everybody's great, but he didn't mention what they really do. Again, none of that's going to matter versus the Golden State Warriors. None of that. But again, we're not here to have a debate. We're here to hear his insight. Herm asked him why he thought the '96 Bulls was the best team ever.
Triangle, sure don't.
Right, you don't need it. That's why they had Ron Harper run it. If they want to go big, Ron's going to be the point. Mike will be the 2, Scotty the 3, and then you got Rodman and Winnington or whoever else you want to put in there. It's like this.
Yeah, they'll throw Kukoc in there too.
Yeah, if they want to go smaller, they throw Kukoc in there, and he had an advantage on any big because he can put the ball on the floor. So it was a I just look at okay, Thompson's a weapon, Curry's a weapon. They had what Iguodala was there. Livingston did well for them. The Draymond Rodman matchup would have been interesting. It would have been funny to watch those two go at it, with their antics and stuff. But at the end of the day, they both kind of cancel each other out. Yeah, Draymond makes plays, but Rodman's not going to let you make plays. He's a good defender. So
Very good defender.
Very good defender. It can go either way, man. If you talk, it depends on which rule you're playing.
And they also kind of plugged and played guys. Like for instance, I tell people all the time how good Brian Williams was, man. I know you played against him in college, man. That was one strong motherfucker there, bro. That motherfucker there, boy. We talking about Bison Daly, guys.
Bison Daly.
Brian Williams.
Yeah, he was a monster. In college, he was a monster, bro.
Monster, dog.
And he was a number 2 pick for a reason. He was a monster in college, but then at the same time, like I said earlier, bro, like depending on what team you go to and how they use you, you may not be that monster in the league. So, but yeah, I mean, I think that kind of drove him crazy too. And rest in peace to him. It's like I was on summer league teams with him and watch him kill people, and for him not to be able to do what he normally does, I'm sure that bothered him mentally too, because he had some stuff mentally that was going on with him at the time too.
Hey, how did you so you kind of, your style of play, I would probably say you were maybe one of the first like advents of like a stretch 4, if it's something to that degree. And at the time that you came in the game, right, when it was expected for 4s and 5s to be in the paint and rebound and doing all the post work at the rim, did you have to deal with? There was kind of a 2-part question. Did you have to deal with shaking and proving to people, the mantra that just because you were attacking from the outside in, you were perimeter based 4? Did you have to shake the connotation that you could potentially have been looked at as like a soft player because you weren't traditional? You know what I mean?
Well, I was never, I'm not 6'10", so your power forwards are anywhere from 6'9" to 6'11". I'm not that tall, so I was always, in the most small forwards I guarded was my size or a little bit taller. Of course, I wasn't as athletic as they were, so I had to do things to kind of slow them down, maybe bump them a little bit, and then try to trail my way around. But in high school and college, I mean, you can't just score 44 standing behind the 3-point line. I was a post-up guy. I was a good offensive rebounder in high school and college. I played a lot in the post in high school and college. But when I got in the league, they stuck me in the corner, or they'll run the floppy for me. And then that would be how I would get stuff. But with Toronto, and I don't know if you remember this.
See, that's why they mention size a lot, because you heard what he said when he was in college. He was kind of big, so he could post people up. He can do a lot of things in college. He gets to the NBA, all that changes because not everybody in the NBA has size, right? So it's like now it's about what you can do with that size. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're usually bigger than the next guy, that's why people always get mad at LeBron, because he's just bigger. So they feel like he just has an advantage. No matter what skill you have, he's just big, man. He's already skilled, but now he's big. You know what I'm saying? So you can clearly hear him say, like, I wasn't really that big. I'm not a 4. Like, I can't do that in the NBA. When I get to the NBA, especially in the 90s, I'm seeing the Sharone Wrights at 6'10", 6'9", 6'11". I'm not posting those dudes up. They're big as hell. They're strong as hell. Like, I'm stuck in the corner. They turned him into a corner, niggas.
Sharon, they used sometimes when Doug come out when Damon come out the game, or when Damon was injured, they would put Doug Christie at the point. I would be at the 2. They had Carlos at the 3, Rogers, and he's 6'11". They had Sharon, and then they had Oliver. So we were kind of big, and I would be playing the 2. And remember when we run that blast down action where I run off the top of the screen and run down it into a post with a smaller guy?
Yeah.
Or I run down and then come back up off your screen up at the top for the 3. So I played that was the only year that I played any 2. And it was effective. I didn't play any 4, and I played majority 3 in the league.
So you heard what he said? I was effective playing the 2 because he's playing against smaller guys. His skill level now matters because he's bigger than them. So there's nothing they can't physically move him out of his spot and all that other stuff. This is why they always talk about being physical, because at the end of the day, these are just one skilled, not one trick pony type guys, but they're limited skill-wise. That's why today's NBA players all have to know how to dribble and do stuff like that, because you can't just let a defender dictate what you're going to do on a basketball court. You have to dictate the defense, not the other way around. Back then, the defense used to dictate offense. That's why they used to go down to the low block. That's why Olo used to always hate that. They go down to the low block for some turnaround, fadeaway, mid-range jump shot that's contested to some big bum that can't shoot. I'm going to ask him that question, too, later on at the end of the live.
If I may ask, Tracy, you stated the differences in the rules in the NBA from when you played and all the other different eras. You also came into an era where they added the zone defense and eliminated the illegal defensive rules. Could you explain how that impacted players such as yourself and other players, depending on their play style and the actual overall gameplay? Obviously guys like Shaq were affected due to the fact that now you can double team Shaq without the ball. Can you explain how the transition went from the illegal defense rules to the zone defense, which you were a part of that transition? You was in the league at that time.
Okay. I mean, I think the difference is, like, there are so many guys that can shoot 3-pointers nowadays, because they still run some zone nowadays too. It's just expanded. You have to expand it a little bit more, or else you're going to get dotted in the eye for 3. But there was more emphasis, and Sharon can chime in on this too. There was more emphasis, and that's probably the reason why I didn't play my first 3 years. There was more emphasis on defense. Getting stops, defense wins championships, and all of those slogans and everything. But they got tired of 89 to 90, and it wasn't so much guys were bad offensive players. It was the emphasis was on defense. The schemes was to clog the paint, And so they changed the rules to expand that. I think when you got guys like Shaq in there and you don't have a bunch of guys around him, he's already unstoppable. But shoot, add him one-on-one with no one close. It's unfair. But that's what I mean by the rules are different, man. It's like, imagine Allen Iverson you're seeing that with Kyrie, right? It's like there's no one who can guard Kyrie. You know, and if you get physical with him, he has some slick stuff to get you up off of him. And same thing with AI. They had slick stuff to get you up off of them. But imagine them when you can't touch them compared to when you can touch them.
So I'm assuming that you prefer the illegal defensive rules over the non-illegal defense rules. Am I correct by saying that?
I could have played. I could have played in the era. So I mean, I just felt like maybe I had a little bit more help with when you clog the paint a little bit. You know, I think I'm a better defender with that type of defense because the way they have everybody spread it out now, boy, you got to move your feet. You got to move. If you don't move,
so there he go again.
You hear that? You hear that?
Yeah, exactly. There he go again. Him admitting that he couldn't play in today's NBA. He said, "I would want to have to guard the way today's. It's harder to guard today." He basically admitted that it's harder to play defense in today's NBA. He literally just admitted it. He's like, I'd rather it be to where, if worst case scenario, that there's somebody behind me, because in today's NBA they're gonna spread us all out, and if I get cooked, it's a wrap. There's nothing I can do about it. There's nothing no one can do about it because I got cooked. Like, I really got to be a good defender today. Which doesn't make sense. There's gonna be another contradiction he says later on when we asked him about the point of attack defender versus the rim protector.
maybe coming right out.
So now the follow-up question is that would you rather have an elite rim protector on your team as a defender, or would you rather just have an elite wing defender? Which one is better to have for defensive? A rim protector or somebody who's a great wing defender? We gotta ask.
I mean, I had nothing but elite rim protectors behind me. I had Hakeem Olajuwon behind me. I had Oliver Miller and Sharone behind me. Even AC Earl came in when you guys retired, and he can block some shots. So, if you can have
Kevin Duckworth.
Yeah, man, if you can have some rim in my era where there was mid-range, you know, you need a rim protector, because now it's so spread out. You need more elite perimeter defenders now in today's basketball.
Say it.
But I don't get that, right? Because what is the perimeter defender going to do with the game being spread out? Like, to me,
I'm literally convinced, Johnny, that basketball players don't actually understand the game of basketball because they're playing it and they're not actually studying it.
Because the point is that if you have to guard a guy that's 25, 30 feet from the rim because he can shoot, let him shoot that. Like, you want to contest a 25, 30-foot jump shot. The point of being a better defender today is because now I do have to guard you 25 feet and I can't let you pass me. So the point is, you still don't want nobody getting to the basket.
I mean,
even
you just think about
NBA.
It's common sense. Like, you have to cover more space. Like, the less space you have to cover as a defender, the easier your job is. Them niggas just standing around the paint all fucking day. They could literally clog up driving lanes and get easy blocks at the rim. They don't have to move their feet. But if you got to fucking guard somebody 25 feet, 30 feet out, that's a lot of movement. You're going to get tired. Like, you're not just going to be able to just stand there and take breaks on defense.
No, he admitted that. He admitted that that's why he couldn't play in this era, because you have to guard so much space. So he did admit that it was harder to play defense. But I'm talking about this idea that today's NBA, it's more important to be a perimeter defender than a rim protector because you have to guard guys who can shoot. But at the end of the day, you don't need to be a great defender to contest a three-point shot. You need to be a great defender to defend guys who can dribble from 25 feet to the rim. The point of being a great defender in the perimeter is still to prevent somebody from getting to the rim. It's not to prevent a three-point shot. You understand what I'm trying to say? So you still need a rim protector, but what's more important? What's the easiest way to protect the rim? To have an elite rim protector or to have an elite perimeter defender? How good can an elite perimeter defender be to preventing somebody from getting to the basket is the point. Because you want guys taking 25, 30-foot contested shots. Those are not going to go in that much. Those are inefficient shots. Just like you want somebody to take a mid-range shot because it's inefficient, especially contested. The only reason a three-pointer is more effective because it's a three-pointer. If he makes it, it counts for more points than 2 points. But still, you still would rather Stephen Curry taking a contested 27-footer than Stephen Curry dribbling past a man and getting to the basket for a free layup. Like, you understand what I'm trying to say? So this idea that the rim protector is still not more important, it still blows my mind. I don't care what era it is. Everybody's trying to get to the basket, so the most important thing is to protect the basket. It's just like in football. The most important thing to do in football is to protect the line. It's to have a good front line and a good defensive line. Like, that's it. That's where everything starts at, right there. If you can't protect nobody, man, you can't open up holes to run, what the hell are you going to do in football? Nothing. And it's the same thing in basketball. If you always let somebody get to the middle, always get to the paint, and always get to the basket, you're not going to win. Like, you have to stop them from getting to the basket. I don't care how many three-pointers somebody shoots. Getting to the basket is always going to be a problem. So I never understood that. But I heard both Sharone say that, and I also heard Tracy Murray say that. And also Lamont and Herm agree with them that they believe that in today's NBA, it's more important to be a elite wing defender than it is to be a interior presence guy, and it's vice versa in the past eras.
Because everything's so spread out, and the bigs, they dribble handoff until they get to the big. The big need to, like Kevin Duckworth would struggle in today's, God rest his soul, in today's basketball because they're going to dribble handoff until they get to him.
So again, there he goes again, telling y'all how the players in the 90s, some of them couldn't play today. A lot of those guys would be in trouble. Kevin Duckworth was supposed to be one of the best centers of the 90s, right? And like you said, today's NBA, they would just torch him. They would bring him out 25 feet and say, "How are you going to stop me?" Because you have to be able to move your feet and guard because I can get around you. So that's why I keep telling you, man. Bam Adebayo, Rudy Gobert, special dudes when we talk about defense.
Yep.
And now he's going to have to, deal with all of this, and that's where it's different, in today's, you need more elite perimeter defenders. Back then, where it wasn't so much a three-point attack, you needed more rim protectors.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
No, I don't.
Hey Trace, I'm gonna interject right quick. I'm every time me and Tracy talk, and we've had these conversations on the bus or the plane.
Yep.
I guess you guys should remember that Tracy he's older than me. And so his teams at UCLA made me want to go to UCLA. The team that he had his sophomore and junior year, and even your senior year, were I think those classes were probably the best classes I've ever seen. So run those down for him, Tracy, about people that on your teams.
My junior year at UCLA, we had 10 NBA guys on one team. We had Derek Martin, Gerald Matkins, Mitchell Butler, Tyus Edney, Ed O'Bannon, myself, Don McClain, Rodney Zimmerman played a year, Keith Owens played a year. Who's the other one I'm missing? I'm missing one more. Oh, Richard Petruska. George Zedek.
He said
George
Richard
Zedek.
Petruska.
So
what about the dude?
Petruska was on red shirt, and Zedek was the 10th guy. So we had 10 NBA guys.
What about Sean?
John Tarver didn't even make the NBA. He's the most talented guy on our team.
He's the most talented player y'all had.
The most talented player on our team didn't make the NBA because he didn't understand basketball IQ stuff. Because, hey, talking about a 30, 40-point scorer, he was that guy. Talking about lock a guy down one-on-one, he was that guy. 6'5", wiry, strong, extra long arms, athletic, could score. He had three-point range, can get to the cup and dunk on you, had mid-range. He was really crafty. He just didn't understand the team aspect of basketball, making a play for others, or defensive rotations. he didn't understand that type of stuff. He's like, I got my man. You need to move your feet.
Talk
You know what I'm
about
saying? So I got my man. You get yours. You guard your man. So that's what he didn't understand about, you know, high level defenses and high level playing. You know, he was one of the best, most talented players I ever played with.
talk about that top 5 team with the Eminem boys with you and Don.
That was the team.
Yeah.
That was the team. That was it. I mean, me and Don averaged 21 a game. You're getting 42 points from 2 people. So let's break it down like this. We had Ed O'Bannon, who was a McDonald's All-American. I was a McDonald's All-American. Mitchell Butler was a McDonald's All-American '89 with me. Derek Martin was an McDonald's All-American with Don McClain. You had Ed O'Bannon, who was a McDonald's All-American. So we had 5 McDonald's All-Americans, maybe 6. You had Ed was a lottery pick. I was first round. Don was first round.
Ty Zetley played in the playoffs with Sacramento.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, I mean, bro, we had dudes. It was just so hard to win.
You know, I wanted to ask him that, but I didn't get a chance to. I wanted to ask him about the Ed O'Bannon situation. Because, you know, Ed O'Bannon is the reason why sports games had to start paying college players. And basically, because he won the lawsuit, that's why we didn't have a college football for a long time and college sports games, and because they didn't know how to pay the players until they came with the NIL rule. Did y'all know that? I don't know if y'all both muted. I don't know if y'all heard me, but
we got you. We hear you.
Yeah, because Ed O'Bannon sued NCAA. No, he sued EA Sports in them for likeness because these guys used to be on he was on the cover of an NCAA game and didn't get paid for it because he was still considered an amateur player, and he thought that was kind of crazy that they can take his likeness and image, put it in the game, and do all of that, and none of them got paid for it. So he went to a big civil lawsuit versus that took years, and that's why like by mid 2000s, the EA Sports and all those video game people stopped making college games because they won the case. And I wanted to ask him about that case, like, you know, how did that transpire? Was he even involved in that? Did Ed O'Bannon reach out to them for support? You know what I'm saying? And what kind of support did they give him? And because he was really battling a big billionaire machine to go up against EA Sports and video gaming is not simple. You know what I'm saying? They have enough money and enough lawyers. That's why it took forever. That's why it dragged so long in the courts. But eventually they won the case, and now today that's why we have college games now, because they invented the NIL. Now players get paid for their likeness. And it all started with Ed O'Bannon and the guys that played at UCLA with Tracy Murray and them. So I wanted to ask him that, but I didn't get a chance to ask him that question because he had left.
You know what we were missing? We were missing you, Sharone.
You heard that?
We're missing you.
Well, y'all also had to play
I
against
had to
that.
guard the center.
Yeah, y'all
most of
didn't
the
have
time,
rebounders, man. Y'all didn't have
I had to guard the center. I had to guard the center.
Interior,
Bro, I'm
guys.
6'7". I had to guard the
Scoring
center.
wins games.
I was guarding, big dudes. Like, I can't do nothing against them.
Yeah, and y'all had to play against that Tucson skyline, man.
And
That was
I
my
had to
second
guard Ed Stokes. I had to guard Brian Williams. I had to guard Sean Rooks. 6'11", 7'1". I had to guard that.
Rest in peace to Wook, man.
Yeah, and that's my brother from another mother right there. You thought Oliver was closer. Rooks, Wook is another one that was extremely close to me, bro. It's like I lost two brothers at the stature of me and you, bro.
No doubt. But that team had Kenny Lofton on that team.
Bro, they had Sean Elliott. They had
Sean Elliott, Kenny
Doug
Lofton.
Bushler. They had Damon. They had Khalid Reeves. They had Steve Kerr. They had a heck of a run, bro.
Tom Tolbert.
He said Jeb Bush.
Tom Tolbert.
You heard
Man,
they lost?
bro, they had Anthony
be
Cook.
sad.
They had a man. They
They
had
did.
a
They had
run.
Chris Mills.
They had
Chris
Chris Mills.
Mills later.
How can I
Yep.
forget my brother?
Oh,
Chris
Kobe
Mills.
teammate.
They had a run of dudes come through there and go to the league, bro.
So
I got a question though. What was the year that you felt you guys should have won, but end up losing for us in that tournament, for us
That year,
NCAA tournament?
that year we were number 1, number 2. We dropped that probably at the lowest, number 5 that year. We had a bad stretch. Like we beat Indiana at the beginning of the season. It's hard to beat Bobby Knight twice in one season. And they made some adjustments.
Oh yeah, I did lose to them in '92.
Oh, we got our ass whooped by them.
Yeah,
They whooped our ass and didn't stop. They took Calvert Chaney off of me because I was bigger than Calvert at the time. So they took Calvert Chaney, and Calvert's a great defender.
You heard what he said though, right there. He said you don't beat Bobby Knight twice in the same season. He even gives praises to coaches and strategies and how that impacts games, right? He talks about all of this stuff, bro. Like he really gave us a lot of great stuff, man. A lot of gems.
By the way, they took Calvert off of me and put Allen Henderson on me. So now they got a 6'10" guy that I can't post up. They put Matt Nover on Don to be more physical and beat him up. They denied the high post pass, which killed our duck in on the weak side for the post up. They denied the swing pass and kept the ball on one side of the court. So me and Don didn't touch the ball very much. They took us. They slowed the game down and took us completely out of it. They jumped on our ass and did not look back.
Why did you? Why did you?
Strategy.
Why did you?
Look,
So
inside keep trying to get it.
okay, so you left early, a year early,
Sorry.
to the
Yep,
NBA,
yep.
right? And
Yep.
so was that decision because you? I think you might have had an opportunity to play the Fab Five if had you stayed. Am I talking about
If
the
I
right
stayed,
year?
I would have played them. Yep.
Now,
would have played them.
what? So when making that decision to leave early, did it just strictly come down to just the business side of things, draft position and things like that? Just the opportunity is there, or like what went into you making that decision to go to the
Watch
NBA
his
and
answer,
not
bro.
stay
Watch
that
his
extra
answer.
year in college?
So when I was 14 years old, I had a hip surgery, and they told me I'll never play again. So, when you find a doctor that picks you back up, and then you work your way to that point, you think about it, right? I was on the '91 Pan American team. We lost, and they brought in the Dream Team. So that killed my Olympic chances. So that was first and foremost. I wanted to be on the Olympic team. I wasn't. School wasn't my favorite thing. Especially at UCLA. It was really competitive in the classroom at UCLA. You really had to go to class, you really had to focus, and you really had to get the grade, or else I was subject to dismissal there. I was almost kicked out of UCLA. So I had to get my academics together. And it's hard there. It's UC systems are very, very competitive. It's almost like they're Ivy League. So that's what I was dealing with at UCLA academically. We kept talking to Shaq. Me, Jimmy Jackson, and Harold Miner, we kept talking to Shaq, and we were wondering when he was leaving because we knew he was going to get $100 million. So the trickle down was going to be great for anybody in the first round, right? So when Shaq decided he was out, then Jimmy declared, then Harold declared, then I declared. So
you heard what he said. That man said he joined the NBA because he knew he was gonna make money with Shaq. And that's what he said. Like he was like everything falls in line, but he was like, man, we were all talking to Shaq. So these guys be talking to each other in college, and they be having the nerve to make it seem like what Dwayne Wade and LeBron James did was some obscure thing that no other NBA players and no players do. Like these dudes talk to each other all the time and find ways to take advantage of a system that is made for them to take advantage of. Like that's what they're here to do. Like he said, he didn't know if he was going to be able to even play in the NBA, and now he get a chance to join the NBA, and he might be able to join it with Shaq and really make some good money. So why not join? Why not leave early and go play with Shaq? Because he could have stayed another year in college and had fun. Like you said, obviously, the academics part was the serious thing, but still, like you said, man, is Shaq about to make $100 million? Imagine what everybody else that's a first round draft pick gonna make in from Shaq's draft. If you playing good, you see what I'm saying? So that I thought that was another great answer by him, and him being, like I said, completely candid and honest with us, just keeping it real, and that's all we can ask.
You know, it was really business. Business, not really liking school, and not being able to be on an Olympic team. And another thing, my best year of having a chance to win the NCAA championship had just passed me with that loss to Indiana. So I didn't see, I can see nothing but my stock going down, if anything, instead of being where it was. So that's when I decided to just make that jump and deal with the consequences.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we talk about that a lot.
Tracy, can I ask you, Tracy, can I ask you one question? You once described to me, Terrell Brandon, and Gary Payton the game that you had with Rod Strickland, the 50 points and the easy triple-double by Rod. Can you talk about that game?
That game was crazy, man, because from the tip-off, Rod was going. And Golden State was kind of young. Brian Shaw, Bimbo Coles, those guys didn't play. So, and Joel Smith got going a little bit.
Every time I hear Bimbo Coles, I think of Wally Lancaster, man. Shout out to Wally, man. If Wally's still around, man. One of the old school FYF guests that used to show up, man. Old school dude played basketball in the 80s in college with Bimbo Coles in them late 80s. I think he didn't. No, he never got drafted. He never played professional NBA, but he's a funny old man. Shout out to him, man.
Was on that team, so I started, like Rod started clicking with me. I had a dunk, I had a couple fadeaways, I had a couple of threes, and we were rolling. So, we're just like playing. It was almost like playing a pickup game, an organized pickup game out there the way we were playing. And we're playing free. And all of a sudden, we're walking to the locker room at halftime, and all I hear was, damn, this dude got 29 points already. So I'm like.
Now, I want to know who did that. I don't know if that was Lamont, but I think that was Lamont.
What was that?
I think that was Lamont. I think Lamont was doing something in the background and forgot that he had his volume up. Because after this, Lamont goes on mute, and we try to ask Lamont something, he couldn't talk because he was muted. We had to tell him to unmute himself. So I'm thinking that was Lamont that did that, because I don't think it was Inside, because I know Inside also had some background noise going on. But it was definitely somebody, one of those two that did it. It was definitely one of those two. Sound like it was Lamont.
I knew I was cooking, but I didn't know I had 29. I wasn't looking up at the board to see what I had, because you just don't do things like that and offend your teammates, right? So they said,
boom. You heard what he said right there? He talked about how he had 29 at one point in the game, and he didn't want to make it seem like he didn't look at it because he didn't want to offend his teammates. I really wanted to ask him about that, because I want to know what he meant by that, because it sounded like what he was saying was, bro, you don't want to show your teammates like, yo, I'm balling, forget the game plan, forget everything, just give me the ball. Like this is my moment, right? I'm being selfish. I'm only thinking about my stats in this predicament. I'm not thinking about the game, right? And I think that's what he meant by that. But I wish we were able to ask him what he meant by not looking at the stats or looking up at the board to see if he had what he had to not offend his teammates. Because I know there's times players said that. Remember when I told you when I went to go watch Luka play, and Luka scored 60, and it was weird because you were just watching him play. You didn't realize
it. Didn't even look like it.
Yeah, you look up at the scoreboard, he had fucking 50-something points. You're like, damn, Luka's about to score 60 tonight, right? And that's like what he meant. Like, everything is going so well. I don't want to be the one that's looking up at the scoreboard and padding stats. We're just, everything is going well. Let's just do what we got to do. Let's not offend my teammates, because I don't want them to look like, hey, look how good I am, or this is my night. Let me do me. Just let, and again, I guess it's superstition. I don't know, but I really wanted to ask him that question, and we didn't get a chance to do that. That's why I was kind of telling Lamont, I wish It was just he and I that was asking the questions. But again, this was a question that was asked by Yella Maui. So if we didn't have him come up, we wouldn't have got this answer neither, because we didn't ask him this question. We didn't ask him about.
No,
his
that's a
50
great
game.
question to ask though, because
No, that was a
you'd be
great
curious
question.
about how team dynamics work and the chemistry and how to fix those issues.
Yeah, and how it happens when a player scores 50. Like what's going on in these games where you're hot, you know what I'm saying, and things are just rolling. 'Cause like he said, the game plan wasn't for him to score 50. There's no game plan to say you're gonna do this. It's just like he said, things just happen, and he just said things just started rolling, and like I said, he breaks it down about how he just had the opportunity. Remember earlier he said, I know I'm not getting out of the game, so I can take more risk. I can try to do more. You know what I'm saying? Because like he said before, you have to know your role. You can't be trying to outshine your. Remember, he's a bench guy. He's a guy who's coming up with me. He's a role player. His job is to do something, not anything else. But here he has an opportunity, and this opportunity led to a 50-point game, which is kind of dope. Because like he said that every NBA player wants to have a 50-point game. Like that's something they want on their resume, is that they scored 50 points in an NBA game.
I had 29, so I'm like, dang. When you hear you got 29 and a half, what are you thinking about next? You know, because everybody is talking about
60, nigga.
the ultimate is to get a 50-point game in the league. Mm-hmm. So I wasn't going to be thirsty and take a bunch of crazy shots. I was still going to play within the flow. So the third quarter come out, I get a couple of buckets. Rod starts going to Calvert a little bit, get Calvert going, because we need a balance. Rod was able to still keep going and get his. So Calvert had a big third. Rod was still cooking. And then the fourth quarter came, and it was a tight game. And down the stretch, they kept just trading different defenders on me, and they put Joe on me, took him off. They put Daniel on him, took him off me. They put Dwayne Farrell on me, took him off me. They even put Tony Delk on me. They tried to go small and see if a smaller guy can, and they put centers on me too to try to beat me up. And it just, that night it just wasn't working. You know, we were just clicking on all cylinders that night, and I couldn't miss a shot. So and as I say again, it was Calvert who was cooking. It was Rod who had that monster triple double. You know, and you know, I couldn't miss, man. You know, to get 29 shots, that's a lot of shots in the NBA. A lot of shots. And I was
imagine Jordan averaged 28 in the season. That man said, I got 29 shots in the game. He said, bro, that's a lot of shots in the NBA game. This nigga Jordan averaged 28 in the season.
Bro, at his peak, he was averaging like 26, 27 shots a game in the fucking playoffs, bro. And he's shooting more than that in certain games. Niggas shooting upwards of 30, 40 shots, nigga. You taking more than half of your team's shots at one point.
Not to mention all the times he got fouled and he's going to the free throw line 10, 15
times.
Yeah,
those are shot attempts that don't count, exactly. So if you see this nigga shooting like 18 free throw attempts a game, just know he didn't shot the ball at least 50 times.
18 for 29, so I had 18 field goals. So
18 to 29.
You know, I was 9 or 10 from the free throw line, 5 or 10 from 3. So it was, you know, I also had 8 rebounds. So
I even had 8 rebounds, y'all. He was like, that was the night of my life.
it was a pretty good night, man. And the most important thing out of all of that is we won. It mattered because we won.
Right.
So can I ask one more thing? Can you also talk about the night that David Robinson got the trophy for MVP and you were there, and Hakeem? I want you to talk about that, my guy. Talk about that night.
That night was funny, man. That night was really funny because I was on the injured list. So I
thought this was a dumb question. I don't care about why. Like who care about that? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just more Hakeem glaze, like out of nowhere. We're supposed to talk about Hakeem Olajuwon now, like with Hakeem Olajuwon and David Robinson. Like, where did that come from? Like, it just came out the blue, right? Like, just a weird question from Yella Maui, but he's gonna give a good answer. Like I said, this was great. Like I said, he was so open with us, man, so free to tell us anything and really break the game down for us, man. I really appreciate everything Tracy Murray did for us that night, man. Shout out to Tracy Murray, man.
I am further down the bench during the ceremony, and Dream is at the end of the bench, and Kenny Smith is down there too. So all you hear is Kenny Smith saying, "That's your trophy, Dream. He's got your trophy. Look at him. Look at him. He's the MVP." He goes, "Kenny, don't worry about it." Man, from the tip off, I've never seen a Hall of Famer get his ass kicked this bad on the court. Like, Dream took it extremely personal that they gave him that trophy right before the Western Conference Championship, right there in his face when he was the MVP the year before. I mean, he was still having an MVP season. It's just the team wasn't having a good year. You know, that's why they made the trade for Clyde. They needed a shot in the arm. You know, we were the lowest seed in the Western Conference, lowest seed period to ever win an NBA championship.
That's true.
So, I mean,
they were the 5 seed, I think.
Dream went crazy, man. He gave, like, all of those moves you saw he gave David Robinson was in that series. It was ridiculous. I've never seen in such a small area in the post. I've never seen anybody get killed like that in a small area. And David Robinson was a great defender. Sharone, was he a great? He was a great defender.
Oh, David,
right?
David was really good. All around, David was good.
Man, agile, long, athletic, block shots, strong. That didn't matter that night, man. It didn't matter that whole series. Dream he averaged about 38, 39, 40 or something. Or I don't remember what it was. It just seemed like it was that bad because it was dominant.
Oh yeah,
it was dominant, bro. I've never seen somebody get turned around so much in a small area, bro. He gave him everything in the kitchen sink.
So
talking about that championship run that you guys had there, Tracy. Can you help some of these guys on TikTok understand the role that
I feel bad. Inside was trying to ask a question now for a while, and nobody let him get a question in. Man, this is kind of bad. I feel bad now. I feel bad, man. Oh man, where's Inside at? He's on somewhere on TikTok.
He plays on a roster to win a championship, because some guys think that someone like yourself have no role or no impact on a championship team. Can you help them understand how from 1 to 12 there is obvious obligation to help a team win a championship, for them to understand it a little bit better? It's not just Hakeem Olajuwon.
Right. So for example, you have no control over what happens. The one thing Clyde Drexler told me, and it stuck with me throughout my career, is don't worry about things you cannot control. So I had gotten the news before we had like a little mini training camp in Galveston right before the playoffs started, right after the season ended. We had played Utah. I played well that game. I turned my ankle a little bit, but not enough to be left off the roster. So they left me off the playoff roster. So I'm seeing, why am I even here? You know what I'm saying? If I'm not going to be in uniform, then what good am I going to be? You know, I'm ready to go home now at this point. You know what I mean? It's like I was frustrated. I was hurt. I was pissed off. There was a whole lot of emotions in my head driving down to Galveston. So Clyde and Dream felt the energy. They felt that I was in a negative state of mind. So, I mean, they knew it was at stake. Clyde didn't have a ring yet. Dream wanted a back-to-back. You know, their legacies was on the line. And they didn't need anything negative out of me or anybody else. So they pulled me to the side and said, look, we need you as much as we needed you in uniform. We need you out of the uniform. We need you right now as a part of this unit. We need you to stay locked in. We need you to be positive. We need you to cheer us on. But most importantly, whoever you are in the scouting report and we're practicing, we need you to be better than that guy, so we can be prepared for it. So that was my role.
You heard what he said? I asked him, what is the role of every player on a championship team and how impactful they are. He said that he wasn't even in uniform but that Hakeem Olajuwon and Clyde Drexler pulled him aside and explained how important he was to them because they needed him. Not for one, not just to just cheer them on and keep a positive attitude, but for two, he's a part of their scouting report, right? And I remember Dwayne Wade talked about that. People asked Dwayne Wade about the championship and how that everybody on the 2006 Heat team was important to winning a championship. He even mentioned a guy named, if I'm saying his name right, Earl Bannon, right? Ed Bannon, whatever his name is. Barron. He played for the Heat. Bench guy, didn't even suit up. But he was their scouting guy. His job was to be Dirk Nowitzki, right? So he had to be Dirk Nowitzki during practices so that they knew what to do against Dirk Nowitzki. And he was immensely important because he took that job seriously. He was talking about how the guy was really taking the job seriously, and it helped Udonis. It helped them understand what they had to do to keep Dirk Nowitzki from doing his thing. And this is what he's saying right now. And we're going to talk about, he's going to talk about who he had to be in the scouting reports and how he felt like he was a part of the team because of it, and how they felt that he was a part of the team, and they gave him a championship accreditation even though he didn't play in the championship round, right? So, again, there's so much that goes into the game of basketball that we don't know about, and this was a great answer by him. Watch how he breaks down his role and everybody else's role into helping the Houston Rockets win a championship in '95.
You go down the list, man. Dream was the superstar. Clyde came in and ended up giving them that boost that they needed, and he became that second guy that they needed. Mario Elie, a super duper role player, man. Like, he was a guy that kind of kept me, even when we were in Portland together. He told me so many gems, man. And and when you're in the same position, you're thinking he's telling me this just to keep me down. But no, he was telling me things to keep me in the league. And I thought Mario Elie was a heck of a mentor for me. And the way he played his roles, he played great defense. He hit big shots. He guarded the best perimeter guy. You know, he made the extra pass. And then that leads me to Robert Horry. Everybody knows what Robert has done his whole career. Robert can give a damn about shooting a basketball. But he will block shots. He will rebound. He would defend, and he would hit the big shot for you. He didn't care about getting a bunch of volume shots, but he got the crucial shots that he knocked down. You know, and he's another guy that could have went out there and averaged, 15, 20 a game. He just chose not to. He chose to be a good, valuable piece to the puzzle. Sam Cassell. He was that punch off the bench, man. You knew you would get an instant offense from him. He was going to come in, and he was going to make some plays, and he was going to scorch whoever that guard is on the other side. Kenny Smith. In the second half of the season, Kenny, had some ups and downs because he was trying to get used to us being around, right? So, they lost Otis Thorpe, which was a big part of them. And, me and Clyde, nobody was happy we were there. Otis Thorpe was their guy. So, it took a while to get going. But, Kenny, man, he was dealing with knee issues, but, boy, he found a way to get going. Like, the game that we were down, game 1 to Orlando, those threes that he was hitting to bring us back, and him and Sam Cassell, that was their game. That was the guards' game. They did their thing. Pete Chilcutt, good role player, can knock down the three, bang bodies with the big guys. Come in and spare Chucky Brown, who was our starting power forward. Chucky Brown, man, he did all the dirty work. He knocked down mid-range shots, get fouled, get to the line, guarded the best power forwards, physically got after it, set good screen. Like, things don't happen unless these guys do their jobs. Like, we were the first. I think that's why they hired Rudy Tomjanovich with the Lakers as the first person that I knew that got hired for analytics, the way they play nowadays. We were the first team that shot a lot of three-point shots but we did it from inside out and not outside in. They're doing it off of pick and rolls and dribble handoffs now. We threw it down the dream and allowed people to double team him, and then the ball swung around and somebody was getting open shots. So we were like the first team to really do that type of style of play.
So look, you see, that's why I love talking to this guy, man. He could come on anytime. One simple question. He is giving me the real answer. Like, he didn't just stop. Like, now he's going to the coaching aspect of it and how the coaching helped them win a championship and how that is a part of it. Like, how even the coach's role in understanding, and like he said, just having all these dynamics is a part of winning a championship. I mean, all of this. Like, he's like I said, you ask him one thing and he's giving you so much insight off of one simple question.
But we did it from the inside. So, but everybody, Vernon Maxwell, man, when I was there with him while he was like, he left during the Utah series and just said he had enough and he took off. But I understood his frustration, man, because he was a very important part of the championship team. Clyde comes and now he's unclear of what his role is and what they want him to bring to the table. Vernon was a great teammate to me. Vernon, taught me a lot while I was there and while he was on part of the team. And he brought me in and put his arm around me. So Max I just wish Max was there the whole time. But Max, he did an excellent job with me and trying to transition as that trade made, because it was a frustrating situation, but Max did the best he could with that. Carl Herrera was hurt when I got there. He had a shoulder dislocation.
Naming players.
John Tabak. Tabak was there that was with us in Toronto. Tabak didn't play very much. Yeah. He was young, so they didn't put him in the rotation at all. That's why they brought Charles Jones in. Charles Jones was an older veteran that's been through the wars, and you put him in when Dream needed a break. And you knew that defensively he was going to be there, and he was going to rebound, and he was going to set some good screens. So, that's basically everybody that I remember, man. And Tim Bro was in the situation that I was in. He was a young player trying to prove himself, and he was in street clothes just like I was, and they told him the same thing. Hey, just be the best person that you can be on the other team. Prepare us for who during the scout. And I think that's why at the end of the day, when we won the championship, they awarded Tim Bro and I a full share of the playoff money because we played our position and we did what we needed to do to help them win.
Wow. Can you tell us some of the players that they had you as a scout player, like somebody that you had to mimic for them to help them win a championship?
They had me as Dan Marley with Phoenix. I was Dennis Scott with Orlando. I was Brian Russell with David Benoit with Utah Jazz. Sean Elliott with San Antonio.
Okay, so they had you basically as the small forward, helping them understand those guys' roles. Okay, go ahead.
And I was so frustrated that I was trying to do more than those guys.
Go ahead, Inside. I know Inside want to add something. Go ahead, Inside.
Yeah, shout out to Hearn for letting Inside in too, man. I feel bad, but you see, that was a great answer by him. He broke down a lot about that championship team and broke down how it took all of those guys. It wasn't just Hakeem Olajuwon and Clyde Drexler. It was everybody. He was naming guys that I even forgot about. He said Chilcutt. I forgot about Pete Chilcutt. Forgot about Chucky Brown and guys that used to play on that team like that. Like, these guys all had something to do with that championship. And then his mention of Robert Horry, which was another thing that just took notice to me, was how he mentioned how Robert Horry could be a better scorer and how Robert Horry could score and really was a good basketball player offensively, but he didn't care about none of that. All he cared about was winning, and it shows why he won 7 championships then. And why he chose the right teams to go play on. But secondly, at the end of the day, he chose opportunities to go win. And he was able to do that because he didn't care about nothing else. He just wanted to do his part, play his role, whatever it was that was necessary with his talents to help his team win. And he helped every last team win those 7 championships he had. Completely was a part of it. So like he said, they gave him, Tracy just said they gave him full playoff winning share credit because he was involved in helping them win that championship while he was in street clothes, ladies and gentlemen. But y'all be sitting here thinking guys win championships because they got one guy or two guys. That's not how that shit works, man. It takes a lot to win a championship. That's why LeBron left Miami, because he realized it doesn't matter if I'm in Miami or Cleveland or not. It takes a lot to win a championship, and I can win it elsewhere. I don't have to be in Miami to win a championship. So I'm going to go back home, and we're going to see if we can win one in Cleveland. That's just it. And ever since then, LeBron has just been realizing that winning a championship is nothing you can just predict, man. It's hard to do. It's not easy. And that's why Jordan came back and played in with the Bulls again, because he realized, like, damn, I got an easy chance to win a championship if I come back to the Bulls. The NBA is in a good position to where I can dominate and still win championships. That's why he quit as soon as he realized he couldn't win no more championships. I'm going to quit. That's it. So if there's any such thing as easy championships, it was Jordan's era, if anything. But we're going to play a little bit more of this interview, and we're going to let y'all go to FYF Sports Debate to listen to the full interview and watch the whole thing, because, again, it is an over 3-hour live where we had an interview with this guy. I'm not going to do the whole interview with you guys here, but we're gonna get Inside's question in here, and there's a couple of more questions, and listen to it, and then we're going to get up out of here. So, again, this is the Friday Night Exposure with the Exposer. I do this every Friday night. This is a GJK members only live, so if you want to be a participant of what we do on Friday nights, hit the join tab, man. Become a member of GOAT James Kingdom. Support what we do here in GOAT James Kingdom, because when the season starts, it's only going to take off from here. We're going to be watching games, doing play-by-play, having so much fun with the Sixer games, the Heat games. We're back to East Coast time. I don't know what New World is going to do, because he's still on the West Coast time, but here, we're going to be enjoying it over here. We ain't got to be up till 2, 3 o'clock in the morning no more. Now we're going to have New World. We're going to have New World hanging out with us at 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah. He on the West Coast.
He on the West Coast. New World's going to have to be hanging out with us at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, talking about, man, I'm just getting off work, man. I'm in traffic. we getting ready to watch LeBron play. You better hurry up and get home. So let's let Inside get his take in.
Yep.
Go ahead, Inside.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes,
So
sir.
we can hear you.
Okay.
Hey, Mr. Tracy. So in the 50-point game, I know Jawan was out, and I know Webb was out. Was before the game started? Was the game plan to go to you? And I know we know you could score before, obviously, the 40-point game and stuff like that. But before the game started, was the game plan to go to you, or did that kind of just materialize as you were obviously on fire?
It just materialized. Like Strick is a great point guard, bro, and just because he didn't make All-Star teams, don't believe, the BS. The reason why Strick didn't make All-Star teams because he didn't like doing, the off-the-court stuff, man. He was a hooper, bro. You know what I'm saying? He just wanted to hoop. And you have guys like that they try to force to be the face, and he didn't want to. He just wanted to hoop. He just wanted to be left alone and hoop. And so when you look at, how good Rod Strickland was, he can control a game, bro. He can control it.
I love players, man.
When he saw different things, that's why he went to Calvert Chaney in the third. He saw that they were loading up on me, and he can get whatever he want whenever he wants to because he's that good. And he just knew who to go to at the right times, bro. It's like with no C Webb and no Jawan, you're missing about 40 points a game right there. You know what I mean? So somebody's got to make up for those 40. And then you had no George Mirasan, you had no C Webb, no Tim Legler, no Jawan Howard, no God Sham God, there was a lot of people.
Damn, there was a lot of good players on that team. He said God Shamgar was on his team? That's crazy. I didn't hear that part. I missed that one out. But that's crazy what he said. That's a lot of guys out. There's a lot of guys to be missing.
Who, were hurt. We had a long list of people who were hurt. We signed Lawrence Moulton, God rest his soul. We signed Lawrence Moulton that day. We only had 7 coming into Golden State. Lawrence Moulton was our 8th. Wow. So
Thank you, sir.
We were just hooping. We're just out there just playing.
Hey, you were playing. I appreciate you.
I want. Yeah.
See, and right there, that answer also proves the point. You remember I always told you guys this, Olo and New World. You've heard me say this before, that anybody who could take 20 shots in the game could average 25 to 30 points per game. If you're taking 25 shots in the game, you're going to average 30. Anybody can do that. He basically just stated that. Like, he's like, bro, a lot of these guys can score in the league, but we all have to play our roles. There's a $1 million guy it's his job to take 20 shots. There's no one else's job to take 20 shots but this one guy, right? And he talked about how all those guys are gone, so now those voids have to be filled. So that means now anybody can. So you can get someone like a Tracy Murray step up and have a 50-point game because he just had the opportunity to take 29 shots in an NBA game, right? He's even if he doesn't score 50 with 29 shots, he's easily scoring 30, 40 points. So again, imagine if he got that more consistently. You see what I'm saying? So when I be telling people, man, it's easy to score 30, not say easy, but anybody who averages 20 shots per game is going to average 25 to 30 points per game. That's just given because you got enough shots. So like that was a great question by Inside. That was a great answer by him, and you clearly heard what he said. There is no game plan made up to say, oh, you're going to score this or you're going to do that. And like he said, when you have a good point guard, when you have a good ball facilitator, that changes the dynamics of everything. That's why I say in basketball, the best way to win is to have an elite ball facilitator, point guard, or have an elite rim protector or defensive anchor. Those two things are automatically going to get you wins because it makes everything easy for everybody. Like he said, now I don't have to worry about when it's my turn because I know when Rod give me the ball, it's my turn. Rod is letting me know it's my turn. Rod's letting me know when it's somebody else's turn. Rod's telling me what to do with the ball because when he gives it to me, he's telling me, yo, here, at this point, you need to do this. Like, this is what having a good point guard does in basketball, man. Having an elite point guard. Like he said, this guy, Rod Strickland, was that dude back then, too. And he talked about how Rod Strickland didn't like being a part of the media, which is, again, a part of that professionalism that he talked about, that outside of the lines part of being a pro athlete that some players just don't understand, that it's not about just being good on the court. You also have to have the personality and professionalism to do other things outside of that because that's what the organization needs from you.
I wanted to ask you about your time with Shaq and Kobe, that environment with Phil Jackson, Shaq, and Kobe. Your time with the Lakers, and what was your thought of how great those players was, and Phil Jackson as a coach?
Well, I mean, Phil Jackson as a coach, it speaks for itself. He's got 11 rings, so it doesn't, you can't say much other than that. You know what I mean? Shaq was the most dominant guy. He was still in his prime. Kobe was at the top of his game. The role players, I think, were key because they allowed those guys to be who they were. Robert stretching the floor, Derek Fisher stretching the floor, Rick Fox being in the corner. Brian Shaw been playing with Shaq for years. He knew how to get Shaq the ball in certain places when he hadn't had a touch. He knew how to talk to Kobe when Kobe was frustrated. There were guys on that team. They used Kareem Rush a lot that year. Samaki Walker was the starting power forward. I think he had lost his confidence because of how he was being played. Samaki's one of those guys, if you throw him the ball in the post, he'll get you 20 a game. But when you put him in the triangle, it was something that he wasn't really used to. So he did the best he could with that. Devin George, great role player, man. He played his role. When you have guys that know that offense, it runs like a well-oiled machine, and then you have two guys with that much space because the triangle gives you that much space, they're able to be dominant. That's why when you put Pau Gasol in Shaq's place, it was still the same dynamic, but Pau could do more from a passing point of view and playmaking point of view. Pau was more mobile. Shaq was more dominant, go through you and rip the rim off. But you still had the same dynamic with Kobe.
Yeah, he praised everybody.
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all noticed that he hasn't been negative at all. The only aspect that we can say he was quote unquote, I guess, negative was when he talked about the hand checking and the freedom of movement and the difference in the era. But he made sure he reiterated about how those guys that play today are still great as well. So like he doesn't talk bad about nobody. Like he really gives everybody their flowers, which is what we try to do here in GOAT James Kingdom. Because again, we need to get rid of zesties, man. Because zesties are the only reasons why we can't have these type of conversations on a consistent basis. You see what I'm saying? They would have been looking to argue with this man left and right about the things he was saying. Or they would have tried to curtail the conversation to a point to where it would have just been zesty all day. And he probably would have, he probably wouldn't have liked it. That's why Sharone brought Tracy to FYF and GOAT James Kingdom, because he knew there was going to be no zesties. He understood it was TikTok, so there was still a chance that something might creep through. But he understood coming to us, we were going to actually talk hoops, and there was going to be no bad. And he said this at the end, man, these are my guys. Listen, man, like talking to them is like talking to real basketball fans and real basketball guys. So that's why it was great to have him on. And like I said, man, he gave us some great insight. Like I said, we're going to continue here now. We're going to get up out of here very shortly. Because like I said, you guys should watch the full interview on FYF Sports Debate channel. It's on FYF Clips channel as well. And it's also a part of GOAT James Kingdom. It's a collaborative video, so you can go on GOAT James Kingdom. You'll see it there in our collaboration section of videos.
Guys that were capable of hitting big shots night in, night out.
Yeah, I'm get off task for a minute, T. And I I love you. I don't want to put you on the spot, but I wanted you to. There's a topic on our show on FYF and with Go James and even with Herm's show. I feel like we just go ahead and nip it in the bud. Let me just go ahead and say, I want you to touch on your relationship with Kobe. And I talked to you about this, and I know how hurt you were about this.
Absolutely.
I had talked to you. We had talked that week, and I remember the first thing I did when I got the news.
Yeah, we gonna actually end that interview on that. If you guys want to hear what he had to say about Kobe, go to FYF Clips channel, and you'll hear exactly what he had to say about Kobe, man. The interview is still going. It's a great interview. I'm glad that I was able to actually give y'all a good portion of it, that y'all heard it here on the Friday Night Exposure with the Exposer. As you guys know, we're going to continue to give you guys great content. We're hoping to get more basketball players and introduce ourselves to more people that are in the basketball world, so that we can have more interviews like this with them, have them participate with stuff that we do here in GOAT James Kingdom. So again, don't be afraid to subscribe to our channels, to follow us on other platforms, even if you don't like LeBron James. Matter of fact, if you don't like LeBron James, we don't want you. It's true. We want real hoopers. We want real basketball fans, real hoopers that like basketball. And I'm about to make a video about Los. Did y'all see that video of Los talking about LeBron fans are the worst and the most toxic fans and ruin basketball? I get tired of these zesties, bro. People like him swear that they're basketball aficionados because they go to the LA Fitness gym and shoot a bunch of 25-foot shots and can make them and think that they're really good at basketball. Like, you dudes are just the worst. Y'all are the worst basketball fans. This motherfucker was born in 1990, had the nerve to tell people who's the worst basketball fans, bro. You never saw Jordan play. You barely saw Kobe play. Like, I'm tired of y'all. Every last one of y'all. But again, this is why we do what we do here in GOAT James Kingdom, because we don't, like I said, we don't have time for all the zestiness, man. We're here to talk the game of basketball. We're here to continue to give you guys great shows, great content. Shout out to guys like Olo, New World, Womboy, Asante, all the GJK members that support us, man. We really do appreciate all you guys, man. Inside, shout out to 2 Cents too, because 2 Cents has been supporting us too as well. Shout out to 2 Cents. Shout out to Hollywood Herm, who supports us as a GJK member. Shout out to like I said, to Wayne Gant. Shout out to my boy Tay, who stays supporting us. Shout out to Tay, man. Tay be in the background on shows every time. Shout out to him. And again, there's so many of y'all. I don't want to say names without missing any names as well. So all of you guys have been great. I just can't think of all you guys off the top of my head right now. Just going off of who I'm seeing here tonight. It's always been a pleasure to do what I do here on the Friday Night Exposure with the Exposer. So again, if you like this type of content, follow and subscribe on all platforms: Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter. Again, this is GOAT James Kingdom. I'm A. Johnny the Exposer, just one half of the platform. We go live every Sunday, noon Eastern time. We go live every Saturday night with the TikTok Takeover Live with Lamont and the FYF guys over there. And again, like I said, it's the Friday Night Exposure with the Exposer. I want to thank Olo and New World for participating in tonight's live. And we're about to get up out of here, man, so that we can enjoy the rest of our Friday night, man. Again, y'all, It's been a blessing to be a part of this. The summer's almost over. Basketball's almost coming around. Y'all make sure to check out the GOAT James Kingdom Film Festival lives that'll be popping up very shortly. I have another one for y'all tomorrow. And officially, you guys have been exposed by the exposer, so have a great night, y'all.
Okay, you have some skill. Kill him.
JK. Johnny the Exposer. Call me Crypt Keeper. I own the graveyard. Zesty Jeffrey Cemetery. It's open. Done picking you off solo. Bring me 20. Line them up.
20 versus 1.
Let's end it.
I dissect the myth.
Separate man from Fable. Jordan fans panic.
Unable to stabilize the table.
Handpicked moments. All the curated real the glory. Dropping out failures to protect the bedtime story.
Y'all live in nostalgia.
I live in hard data. LeBron's career is the ultimate regulator.
Check the cemetery.
Marcus fresh and deep.
No Miami State.
Now the city pots and wheat.
Mind vision lost sight. Trying to argue with the king.
Mini Glock.
Jam up.
Couldn't say a thing.
King speaks, roll silent.
Drip does the crown.
Scap attack. Fold is fine crack.
Broken down Armani vibes.
Overboard.
Popped under pressure. Resorting to insults to hide the lack of measure. A catalog bodies every Jeffrey name.
Exposed.
For hypocrisy left utterly ashamed. Scared to group up ego. Fragile like glass.
20 versus 1.
I smoke the entire class.
This is GOAT James Kingdom.
Where idols turn to dust.
We strip away narrative.
Shatter all the trust.
In ghosts of the 90s.
Crime by the perfect ring.
Ignore it, first round.
The contradictory things.
Scrambling and scraping, terrified to stand. 20 versus 1.
Johnny clearing out the land.
Jesse Jeffries in dirt.
Marked and filed in the roast.
Step up to the plate or let the ghost status go.
Their idol brings a fable from the past.
From the past.
Claims his dad saw I handled that could last.
10 hops on walk back in 54 rap.
Better handles than Kyrie on the floor. Your daddy lied.
It's simple.
Used to upload the proper logic.
Pimple.
Weaponizing feelings.
To deflect the skill.
But Kyrie's dagger's deeper.
Let's keep it real.
Hating on Braun with a passion so bizarre.
Elevated plumbers.
Them a shining star.
Jordan was a killer.
Yeah. Respect is always due. But treating them like God is simply untrue.
Act like losing later.
Is a sin he never knew.
Was well early.
That's a loss too. I stand on accolades.
That's still the book.
You stand on killer instinct.
And a look.
That's why you fear the debate. Why you scared on like roach it when I open the gate. Yeah, yeah. They want the whole way. They want the myth. But I bring the archive. I bring the receipt. I bring the exposure. We all at where the 20 at. Don't hide behind behavior.
Face the reaper.
Vibe in.
Gather the truth.
Get narratives aligned.
Bring the styles and merchants here.
Leave logic behind.
I want smoke big.
Boom to suffocate.
So I can let it out.
Till the joy and fate.
One man, 20 fans.
Microphone to speak.
Dissect.
In every argument.
To your knees, you're weak. I don't need.
Nursery rhymes are forced to vision.
I cut through the frog
With surgical precision.
Just go to the fraudulence of your whole gallery. GOAT James Kingdom stands tall.
Flag and furrow.
LeBron James, greatest player in the history of the world.
Zesty Jeffrey Cemetery.
Plenty of blocks left.
Who's next?
20 versus 1 step up.
Oh, shut the fuck up.